Hey, Goldie, can you check InQ's YouTube channel?
Yes, I'll just check.
Can you check InQ's YouTube channel? I think it's playing.
Yes, I'll just check.
I've just shared the link, Prajit. I've shared the link. I think it's playing. I've just shared the link, Prajit. I've shared the link.
It's working. Actually, I'm getting echo. I don't know if you.
Yeah, that's because it's understandable. I mean, you should just quit that anyway. You keep it low volume there. Just keep that muted. Prajit, you're there? I've shared the YouTube link for you, Prajit.
Yes. I'm here. So I was just checking with Arya. So she'll be joining soon.
I've shared the YouTube link, which is live streamed now.
With me
On the chat. On the chat.
Fine. Okay.
Can you see on the chat?
Yes, I can see.
That's the main key thing.
Okay.
Goldie, you can copy that link and put into our Facebook as well. Just around when we kick it off, 3 o'clock. Goldie, you're there? Goldie, you're there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm just doing that linking.
So yeah, just admit all. Keep the thing, and at some point we'll just make it available for everyone to join in as well. Who is in there?
Okay.
Just keep an eye on the waiting room, eh?
Okay.
I will make you as well the co-host.
Okay.
Admin as the co-host.
Oh, there are already 4 people waiting. Ujita sir and everyone.
No. Just keep them waiting. I think Safirullah is there. I'll just admit him. I'll admit Vijeta as well. Hello. Greetings. Salams. Morning. How are you?
Yeah, fine. How are you?
Good. You're in Mumbai, eh? Still?
Yeah.
Okay. All good.
How are
Okay,
you?
I just texted you some message around the startups as well, just in case you needed to refer. That's all.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
So yeah, you can be muted. I mean, we're just setting it up all ready for the session. Thank you. Prajit, can I get a confirmation on the page?
Arya, are you there?
On the startups as well,
Yes,
just in case
Prajit.
you needed to refer. That's all.
Arya, so can we just share the screen for that final
Setting it up all.
the screen that the page that we have created? Arya, can you hear
Yes,
me?
Prajit, can you repeat once more?
Can you share the screen for the page that we have created? That
Yeah, for that
The-
main stage, right? Yeah,
And put
I'm
the
sharing.
link as well again. Please put the
Yeah,
link
yeah.
as well.
I am sharing that.
Okay. All right. All good. All good. I've just checked as well. It's, yeah. All good. Yeah. Thank you. We'll just keep it paused. Yeah. Thank you. See over there. Just waiting for Ashok and John and Michael Costa. I'll just give Michael a call. Yeah, he just joined. Hi, Phil. Greetings.
Hello,
Good to see you.
likewise.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Michael, greetings. John, we're waiting for John to come in as well. So we'll at least have the speakers. A lot of people are gonna be also joining the live stream page, which is on the link that I've just shared, which has got obviously the space for various startups to be engaged as well.
So can you just remind me of the format? We've got the pitch judging.
I mean, there isn't any judging kind of. It's all just pitch, and then all our ecosystem partners can also visit each of those spaces they have.
And do we give feedback or is it just
No. Or probably we don't. I mean, we haven't incorporated that for the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
all right? And if I have to go at 4, is that still okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can come back at any time because that page will be there. The link that I've shared will be available
Okay.
anytime. And the
So
founders,
rather than coming back into the Zoom, I just go to the
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
passive stream. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's cool.
Hi, Michael. Greetings from Sydney. How are you?
Hi, fine. Yes, very good. Thanks.
Great to see you. Welcome aboard. Want to introduce you to Mohammed Safirullah Ji, our IT Additional Secretary. He's joining us from Mumbai.
Hello, sir. Nice to see you.
Likewise.
Morning, Mr. Phil. Morning,
And
Mr.
Phil, how are you?
Great. Excellent.
Surviving lockdown in Australia, okay?
Can't complain. I think we're just hoping for some good news to come through. But yeah, life goes on. We're prepared for dealing with it. Every day is, a bit of a reckoning on how long this could take. But again, we are prepared for it. We got to live through and do the best together and get through this, get the vaccination up. Yeah.
I mean, it puts it all in perspective when we see what the figures are.
Yeah.
In India and Florida and in South America, and we've got states here that will go into lockdown when they get 7 cases. So it's kind of ironic.
Yes, we're fully opened at about 120, 140 cases a day here in Chennai. It's just the reality of it, a different risk profile and appetite.
Yeah, for sure.
Great.
Do you have people wearing masks to even come into your office, or you don't even do that?
Oh, no. We've got very strict COVID protocols with anything that we do. So we have masks wherever we go. If we've got other people in the room, we're always wearing masks. Whenever we go out, we've got a lot of hand sanitizers and social distancing we need to maintain. Yeah. So it's pretty strict. So I guess we're living, I've been in instances where I've been a direct contact of someone who had COVID, but by taking all those precautions, I've not actually, thankfully, contracted it yet. And being fully vaccinated as well, is also another.
What did you have, Pfizer or AstraZeneca?
I had AstraZeneca, so one from here in India and one from Australia.
Oh, wow, great. All right, John, you're there. John, if you can say.
Good morning.
Morning, John. Yeah, greetings. Yeah, we're just waiting for you, and we'll kick it off now on that note without much delay here. And we'll just record. We are on live stream already on the Startup Mission page as well as on the YouTube stream. I'm just going to admit all who are waiting, and the rest of the people are going to come onto the page, the Startup Mission page directly. Goldie, if you can keep an eye on the waiting room. In fact, what I might do is turn off. Any waiting. So Goldie, if you can keep an eye on the waiting room and admit people as they come.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Hi, Andy. Welcome aboard.
Hi, Malik. How you doing?
Good to see you all. Hey, Andrew. Hey, Alex. All of you, welcome aboard.
Hi, everyone. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon from Malaysia joining. Welcome aboard. Ryan should also be joining soon. Thank you. I'll just place this link again. All righty. We'll kick it off. In fact, I should just was waiting for. Alrighty, I think on that note, let's kick it off. If all's well with everyone, to kick it off without much delay. If you can be all muted, and when you are invited to speak, if you can unmute yourself. We've got quite a lot of our participants and attendees on the Zoom link, as well as our guest speakers, our distinguished guests. And I believe there are attendees who are coming onto the startup mission, the landing page that we've specifically curated, where you have access to the live stream, as well as access to connect with the startups pitching as well today. I'm leaving that link again, just in case after the session you want to interact with the startups as well. So on that note, let me formally kick off this session. Ellavarikkum namaskaram, as we say in Kerala and Malayalam. Greetings and wishes to you all from Sydney, Australia, all the people joining from India, the Far East, Middle East region, as well as globally, who are joining from other regions, and of course from Australia and New Zealand as well. So welcome to you all for this Global Market Access Kerala Startup Mission Startup Showcase event. I'm hoping that you're all staying safe and staying well. I know there are challenges across both Australia and India in terms of dealing with the pandemic, but I'm hopeful that we'll get through this together. I'll begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we are gathered, and I pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging. Quite pleased and excited to welcome you all to this session, which has also got the startup KSUM Startup Showcase, and also excited about the launch of two Kerala Startup Mission, Kerala-based startups into Australia with the announcement as well. I want to welcome and thank all our organizing partners, Kerala Startup Mission and World Malayali Council, Far East region in Australia, and all the office bearers and the team as well, who have helped us put together and do the outreach as well. I also welcome all our distinguished guests. I'll start off with Mr. Mohammed Safirullah, IT Additional Secretary of Government of Kerala. I also want to welcome close, Vice Consul General Michael Costa, representing the Australian Consulate General in Chennai in India as part of the Australian missions in India. I want to also welcome John Thomas, who is the CEO of Technopark Kerala, as well as the acting CEO of Kerala Startup Mission. Also want to welcome my great friend and a co-ecosystem partner and the keynote speaker for today, Steve Torso, who's the CEO of Wholesale Investors. I want to also welcome Ryan Chan, representing MDEC Malaysia, as the head of business development of MDEC Corporation there. Also want to welcome Anthony Devdas from Malaysia as well, as part of the ecosystem there. Looking forward to an exciting session. As I indicated, we've got the core part of the session is the startup showcase, the 10 startups who are going to be pitching, but also excited about the launch of the two startups into Australia. I want to recognize the startup founders from Do4D Solutions, which is a healthcare medtech solution, as well as EcoDue Solution, which is a clean tech company, the founders and the representatives who have come on board for the session. So without much ado, let's kick it off, conscious of time. I welcome, first of all, John Thomas, representing Kerala Startup Mission and Technopark, to say a few words about the ecosystem and also the ongoing global market access program that we have curated. So over to you, John, if you can unmute yourself and share your thoughts.
Thank you, Irfan. And first of all, thanks to the organizers of this event. Extremely happy to see such an august audience present today. Vice Consul General Australia in Chennai, Shri Mohammed Safirullah, Additional Secretary IT, all the dignitaries, Australian and Malaysian delegates and partners. Good morning, good afternoon to you all. Just wanted to take a few minutes and talk about Kerala Startup Mission and Kerala's IT ecosystem in general. So Kerala's Startup Mission, we had our humble beginnings in the year 2006, and we have come a long way since to be a full-fledged ecosystem provider. Today, KSUM, that is Kerala Startup Mission, that KSUM is a short form, is an umbrella organization which encompasses 3,000 odd startups, which provide or which have generated almost 30,000 jobs in the local economy in the state of Kerala. We house 4 startup accelerators, roughly 40 incubators, and about 284 mini incubators, a growing count, growing very quickly. And these mini incubators are housed across the various institutions of higher learning and colleges in the state. They are also a mechanism to generate startup interest and interest in entrepreneurship in the young minds during the period of education itself. We also have extensive partnerships with venture capitalists and angel partners, as well as networks. That is more for the funding and nurturing part of the startups. The Startup Mission also provides grants and loans to emerging startups in their early stages. Now, a bit about the nature of the startups in Kerala. The startups in Kerala had adopted quickly to the emerging trends in the industry. So you would see a lot of presence and active participation in areas and verticals such as health, education technology, fintech, agri-tech, space technology. And that is also because we happen to have one of the largest space centers for ISRO here in Kerala, the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, and also in areas such as cybersecurity, which are critical today. When talking about the horizontal capabilities, the startups are well represented in most of the emerging technology areas, including blockchain, cloud, big data, artificial intelligence, robotic process automation, actual physical robotics aspects, Internet of Things, etc. A bit about what KSUM provides as an ecosystem provider for the startups in the state. Primarily, it starts from evangelization to promote entrepreneurship and get our students excited about the idea of innovation and starting their own enterprise. This starts right from the college level. We have units called IEDCs, which have participation from students as well as faculty members, which act as the nodal points for Startup Mission in these educational institutions. We provide support for innovation, acceleration, and scale up of startups, including funding, space, that is physical space and buildings, expertise, making available the technical as well as managerial expertise available, mentorship. We have a wide network of mentors, and also networks of VCs from a funding standpoint. We also provide infrastructure support, not just in terms of buildings, but in terms of fabrication labs and things of that nature. We also provide market access and connects, and this access includes access to government projects. We have the Kerala government runs a program called Government as a Marketplace. So we provide that kind of access. We also provide broad-based marketing support as well as global connects. There is also the connects to research institutions and academia, both within Kerala as well as externally. We have some marquee partnerships which exposes and provides access to intellectual capital for our startups. The Startup Mission also provides access to corporate innovation programs, startup showcases, startup matchmaking to provide best of solution to corporates, etc., from across the world. So these are all extensions of that marketing and connect. Now a bit about our thoughts on Australian connection. As well as we are very excited to see both Australian and Malaysian delegates here. And that is something which we had been striving and trying to focus more and more on. We believe that there is tremendous possibility for a symbiotic and mutually beneficial collaboration with Australia. We already have a couple of startups who have launched in Australia in various capacities, who have expanded their footprint there. And there are others in that pipeline who are striving or looking for various forms of partnership and collaboration. We hope this will blossom to a larger and more impactful relationship. Some of the outcomes, thinking about what are the impacts we could make with respect to this collaboration. First, I think it would be in the form of investment and partnership opportunities in Kerala-based startups, in the 3,000 odd startups, which is also a growing number. Secondly, startups from Australia could also partner with our startups, the Kerala-based startups, in multiple areas, including technology partnership. It could be cross-sell. It could be anything. Kerala could also be the launchpad for Australian companies, not just startups. Any Australian company which want to have a business presence in India, we could act as an effective launchpad. And Kerala Startup Mission, and there is another closely related organization called Kerala State IT Parks, which could act as conduits for that. Personally, I believe that we have a lot to offer for each other, and we are only limited by our imagination and ingenuity. Now, a bit about the focus today has been mostly on the startups, Kerala-based startups, but a small plug for rest of Kerala's IT industry as well, which is a force to be reckoned with from multiple standpoints. Kerala has been an innovator or one of the frontrunners in setting up government-owned IT parks. So currently, Kerala Government IT Parks is spread across 9 different locations in a hub and spoke model. We house almost 1,000 large and medium-sized companies, including global corporations. It's a very mature ecosystem. As I said, while today we are focusing more on startups, we look forward to organizing events of similar nature, wherein we could showcase some of the capabilities that our more mature companies bring to bear as well. So thanks a lot. I'm very hopeful and extremely excited. Thank you for all your time, and hope you have a good rest of the session. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Appreciate you sharing those insights about Kerala ecosystem, the startup, and the whole core IT infrastructure as well, the capabilities of this phenomenal opportunity between Australia and India to collaborate and scale both help scale both the ecosystem as well. So thank you, John, for that. Let me quickly invite our IT Additional Secretary, Government of Kerala, Mohammed Safirullah ji. If you can share your thoughts, insights, and you being also an Australian alumni yourself, I would definitely want to hear some of your thoughts, and we welcome you, sir, for you to speak.
Thank you, Irfan. I'm extremely happy to share a few thoughts on this particular occasion. I'd like to first thank the organizers and Irfan particularly for having taken the initiative for making this session a reality. Shri Michael Costaji, Shri Steve Tarsoji, Shri Anthony Devdasji, John Thomas, my colleague here, Shri Rayan Chanji, esteemed guests, a warm good morning and good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Government of Kerala, we have been trying to strengthen our relationship with Far East and Australia for the last couple of years. It was in this context that 2 months back, I was in touch with John and Irfan to see how we can take the relationship to the next level. In 2019 and 20, I had the opportunity to spend a few months in Adelaide as part of Government of India's educational program. I visited Adelaide's startup area, Lot 14, and had the opportunity to interact with many of the emerging IT companies and also established companies there, and with innovators who are taking lead in the startup field. And it is my conviction that we have a lot of things to offer and have a symbiotic relationship, mutually beneficial relationship between each other, which will actually promote industry, which will generate jobs on both sides and make things better with the intervention of technology. And it is in this context that Government of Kerala, through 2 fields, one is startup that today we are having a meeting about, and second is also we'll be following it up with a meeting or a sharing of ideas between interested companies between both the areas of Far East Australia and Kerala, how we can strengthen the relationship in IT SMB areas also, maybe in a couple of months. About this particular objective of today's meeting, I would like to emphasize 3 points which John had mentioned about. The first one is that Kerala is consistently ranked among top 3 in our country, India, in the startup ecosystem. Last year, in the year 2019-20 rank of Government of India, we stood second. And we have been consistently ranked on innovativeness, the support to the startups, and also to the market access, the kind of quality and value addition that startups bring to the existing ecosystem. So that is about the innovative aspect and the general competitiveness of the startups in Kerala in specific. The second aspect I would like to point out is the evolving ecosystem. We are working on establishing a technology innovation zone in Kalamassery, that is in the city of Kochi. When the technology innovation zone becomes a reality, the construction of that is almost complete. It will be commissioned by 2021 December. This would be the largest hardware ecosystem in the entire country. And people who have visited there, they know that we have the largest hardware ecosystem in the form of Maker Village currently. We also have in the same setup Rajiv Gandhi Biotechnology Innovation Park. And with this ecosystem, technology innovation zone also adding up to the existing setup, and with the IoT Center for Excellence, which is going to be established by Government of India, the particular area is going to be a big hub, particularly for hardware ecosystem in the next few years. So I would like to invite all the partners to visit this place whenever possible in the foreseeable future when situation is favorable, or else we'll obviously be having a lot of online sessions to share ideas about that. The third aspect is about the digital university and the ecosystem and the talent that we have been focusing on. In Kerala, we have tried to start the innovativeness right from the schools, where we are trying to focus the kids on making innovative aspects. Traditionally, we have been trying to focus on getting a job and getting into a services sort of sector. But right now, the focus is more on innovativeness, how the kids can build on products, how the kids can make a contribution of their own. So this is the focus that we are trying to build from the student life itself. And in colleges, we have been establishing a lot of incubators, trying to support novel ideas and trying to build them during the pre-final years itself from the engineering colleges in specific. So we have the largest digital university, first of its kind in India also, which launched recently. And if you see the last 2-3 years, we have a lot of IT companies which are trying to scale up, and new companies, international MNCs, which are trying to establish themselves. As we speak today, we have more than 3,000 plus startups which have been established in Kerala and creating 30,000 plus jobs. We see them growing further. And in the coming years, we would like to establish a mutually beneficial relationship between Far East and Australia, and to see how both of us can gain from the technology expertise that startups on both the sides have created. So this is what I would like to share on behalf of Government of Kerala. I'd like to thank the organizers once again. I'd like to place on record the thanks to Shri Michael Costa, Deputy Consul General, Australian Consulate, and Government of Australia for their help and support to Kerala and India in specific. And on behalf of Government of Kerala, I'd like to commit all support to the strengthening of relationship in startup and also among IT SMBs that we will be targeting in the next 2-3 years. And as I told Irfan during few conversations earlier before this thing, we are working on establishing actual concrete deliverable results in the next 1 year, and which are quantifiable results, so that we have a good beneficial relationship which creates jobs and innovativeness on both sides. Thank you once again. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mohammad Safirullah ji. Namaskar. Thank you for that real insightful words and also inspiration, support as well that you've been championing with the rest of the Government of Kerala officials as well to really strengthen this relationship. We embarked on a collaboration even in the healthcare tech sector last year. So I'm really pleased for your support and active support. And in fact, looking forward to those new facility launch and more active collaboration as well. And we'll take your offer and along with the Australian ecosystem partners and our Gov partners, we look forward to taking that offer from you and strengthening those relationship and also deliver on the outcomes. Speaking of which, I want to definitely acknowledge today is again a key milestone where we're launching 2 of those companies, which is again a pathway towards some of those outcomes that we are looking at. Thank you again. Appreciate your support there. Thank you. Let me invite on that note our close friend and also our support, a big support for InQ and the whole startup ecosystem in Australia, India collaboration. Mr. Michael Costa-G, who is the Vice Consul General at the Australian Consulate General based out of Chennai, representing the South India Australian mission, for Michael to share some thoughts. Welcome, Michael. If you can share your thoughts, that'd be great.
Well, Vandanam from the Australian Consulate General in Chennai. It's a great honour to be here. It's great to see already the high level of activity between the two countries and the initiatives under the Kerala government. So kudos to the government of Kerala, especially the Principal Secretary of IT, Sri Biswanath Sinha, and our Australian alumnus and additional Secretary of IT, Mohammed Safriullah. Also to Mr. John Thomas, great to see the level of activity that's happening at the Techno Park, and also Irfan. It's always great to see the initiatives being run through InQ Innovation Global. I'm really pleased to join you virtually today to help inaugurate this event and in welcoming these startups into Australia. You know, the Australian government is a long-time supporter of startups across both countries with a range of programs and a range of initiatives to help both startups in both countries to grow together. Now, the last 18 months has obviously been very difficult for both ecosystems. The COVID pandemic has presented unprecedented challenges across the globe. It's disrupted our supply chains, restricted travel, and tragically resulted in widespread loss of life and livelihoods. But in the midst of all of this, COVID has also highlighted the resilience of our startups, our businesses, our institutions, and our government agencies. In Australia and of course here in India, we've seen the rapid take-up of technology. And we've all been, you know, great adapters and implementers to new technology, and we hope that that continues into the future. Australia, you might know, we're the inventor of the electronic pacemaker, the black box flight recorder, ultrasound, Wi-Fi, and Google Maps. And today we continue to make world-leading advances in cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and 5G, as well as the policy frameworks that govern these. But innovation, it's absolutely a team sport, and we're keen to pursue two-way technology exchanges, incubation, collaboration, and investment with reliable, like-minded countries, and we see India as that. Because that's why our Prime Ministers, Modi and Morrison, developed and elevated the partnership to a comprehensive strategic partnership last year and put in place practical agreements on cybersecurity, emerging technology and critical minerals. The new Australia-India framework on cyber and cyber-enabled critical tech cooperation will support startups and business to enhance digital trade, shape the norms and rules that govern global technology, and address cybersecurity challenges across the region. And this will also support the existing or the strong existing industry and institutional links between us. It's great to see big firms from Australia, ANZ, Atlassian, Telstra, growing their footprint in India and in turn providing support to the startup ecosystem, as well as the Indian heavyweights, TCS, Infosys and Wipro, that are also enhancing their presence in Australia. And this is driving productivity gains across both countries and strengthening the startup ecosystem as well. Finding new ways to work together will be crucial for creating new jobs, driving growth, and accelerating our respective economic recoveries. And support from the Australian and Indian startups continues, although virtually at the moment, through acceleration, incubation, and mentorship programs, including this one. We also have a range of government initiatives, the Kickstart Initiative, Accelerate Commercialisation and Export Market Development Grants, and every state has a range of options that are quite attractive for Indian startups. Now, 1 in 50 Australians are of Indian origin, and we strongly welcome the contribution that our Indian diaspora make to our economy and to our community. We've established the Global Talent Attraction Task Force, offering a suite of new services to eligible high worth and exceptionally talented individuals to relocate to Australia and to become a living bridge between both countries, much like our alumni. So in this highly competitive international market, we look forward to working with India through the exchange of talent, ideas and opportunities. Congratulations again to InQ Innovation and to the Kerala Startup Mission. It's great to see this collaboration and to see all the initiatives under this. And I wish the 2 startups that are entering Australia all the very best of luck. There's a wealth of experience to draw on, and do reach out if there's any further support we can provide. Thank you very much and all the best.
Thank you, Michael. Again, it was wonderful, and always you've been a champion for the startup ecosystem collaboration, and also as a key point of contact in India representing Australia. You've been a wonderful thought leader as well. So we really acknowledge all your support and look forward to closely working with you. And also on this note, I extend a warm welcome and invitation for you to visit Kerala along with the Consul General whenever it is possible and plausible to visit Kerala. Obviously, being one of the most beautiful states in India, but also from a IT and technology and digital infrastructure as well. There's quite a lot of things for us to leverage and collaborate on. Thank you again, Michael. Appreciate that. On that note, just to energize, and obviously we are about startup showcase and about investment raise, scaling up, and one of the best people who can talk about and who's a close associate and someone who energizes me as well on a day-to-day basis as we interact, and some of the things that we are excited about bringing across global ecosystem, especially in the investor connect and the whole cap raise and investment raise for startup ecosystem. Let me welcome my close friend Steve Torso, who is also the CEO of Wholesale Investor, which is one of the best platforms, if I can give a plug-in globally to really attract investments and also have startup showcase there with global investors as part of the platform, and some of the great things that's also been lined up as part of the pipeline there. Excited to have you on board, Steve. Welcome. And on that note, over to you to kind of share your keynote address and inspire the ecosystem both sides.
No pressure at all, Malik. Thank you. All right. So I just want to say, obviously, thank you to Malik, right? Because really, I just haven't come across anyone in his ecosystem that works as hard as what he does to actually build bridges and between 2 different ecosystems. And if you really think about it, one of the hardest things to do is how do you create trusted pathways between 2 different countries? And that's what I love about what you're doing. And not only that, there's multiple countries on here. I said Malaysia, India, and also Australia as well. And to me, that's what's inspiring about this ecosystem is we actually want to add value to each other. We want to build each other. We actually want to create opportunities from nothing. And what is also powerful about this is there's a resilience that sits inside this ecosystem that few people expect. So we're talking about how hard the last 18 months have been. The reality was when COVID hit, what I knew about our ecosystem was I knew it would thrive. And the reason is because all of us are built under a foundation of resilience. We're built under a foundation of optimism. And I said, we can take what is given to us from a negative perspective and to turn into something sort of positive and optimistic. For the 2 companies, and I suppose for anyone that's sort of in this space, that is sort of in this capital raising area, my message today is really more around, I suppose, how to communicate and how to build relationships. And, we're seeing a lot when there's a lot of new founders sort of coming into this ecosystem, sometimes the approach of which people should be looking at gets lost along the way. So for me, the key messages I've got is that for the companies that are either raising money or thinking about, or for anyone that's working with founders that are raising money, help them understand that giving respect to the investors, that goes a long way. Instead of thinking of an investor as a transaction to get capital, think about it as a long-term relationship, because when you're dealing in this space, I always make the joke that it's actually easier to get out of a marriage than it is to get out of a private company, right? So understand that when someone's investing in you, they're basically getting married to you with their capital for that long-term journey. And the reality is in this space is that one conversation can change the entire trajectory of our business. And we just never know which conversation that is. It could be at the right person at the right time that can make a difference. And, sometimes we'll have to speak with 50 people, 80 people, 100 people to get that right contact. But that's the power of this space. So the one right person that's relevant to your sector can completely change the trajectory of that as an opportunity. So a big important factor going forward is if we can help people to move from having transactionary conversations to actually building long-term relationships with people and looking to add value. And if there is no alignment, rather than burning bridges, looking to actually build relationships and then pass on those introductions to others in other ways in which they can actually add value. For the founders, the big tip I'd have is, sometimes we get busy, so focused on our product that what we do is we end up selling the product and not the opportunity. And I think it's super important to understand that an investor's not looking to buy your product. They want to buy your opportunity. They want to see what you see. They want to understand that vision. And whilst we spend so much time on pitch decks and trying to pitch new investors, maybe step back and pull away from that and actually spend that time, as I said, building relationships, hitting milestones, actually communicating what those milestones are to potential investors or to the people that you're working with, and then delivering on it, or gaining feedback on the actual product. Sometimes we get geared up that we have to pitch instead of actually listening and taking on that feedback of what others provide us. And that can be one of the hardest parts for a founder going forward, is that taking on critical feedback that can make a difference in an actual business. And the other part I'd love to highlight is that there are some people you're going to meet that may not be as relevant for your business, right? They are not your potential investor. Look for people in this space that are relevant to your business, that know the challenges that you're looking to solving, that understand the problems that can have an impact and how you can have an impact in that specific area, because they are the ones that have got 20, 30 years of experience, networks, IP that can actually make a difference in your business and in your growth trajectory going forward. And then the other part that I'll say is, especially for the companies that are raising money, none of us are actually entitled to raise money from potential investors. None of us are actually entitled to be successful. It is absolutely sheer hard work and effort. It is our job to work as hard as we possibly can to create opportunities for our business to be as successful as possible. We are absolutely not entitled to it. And it is years and years of grind and networks that go along with building it. And understand that part of this job is waking up, dealing with problems all day, and then going on and still waking up enthusiastic for tomorrow. For me, I tell my team that, when you're a founder, I think it's important to understand that, the game we play is like playing multiple chessboards at the same time, whilst having people trying to capture our attention, pitch us opportunities, take us down different paths, and, give us different feedback, and then putting out multiple fires at the exact same time. It's a unique position that you have as a founder, and it's also a unique opportunity. And then the last part just is really be open to suggestions, because in this, you look at the people that are involved in this session today, the networks they have, the contacts they have, what they get to see on a day-to-day basis. We are so razor focused on what we are building that sometimes we don't get the helicopter view of our business and of our opportunities. So people that do have that helicopter view, that are speaking to other founders that are working hard to build their business, or that are dealing with other investee companies, the value they can provide can go far beyond what you can actually see for yourself in front of yourself right now. So Malik, thank you so much for being the workhorse that you are, and for the person that just nonstop is bringing people together and and basically empowering ecosystems. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Steve, for sharing those insights and that energy as well. And so passionately you're involved, on a day-to-day basis with multiple startups across various stages through various cap raise investment, raise process. So really appreciate and thank for what you do, because you're a critical part of the ecosystem for us to, scale and support the companies as well. So thank you. And we look forward to obviously having the two startups who are getting launched on the Wholesale Investor platform, as well as some of the others who are looking to showcase and will be part of the journey to Australia as well very soon. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Malik.
Thank you. On that note, I think one of the exciting part today, as I indicated, is the startup showcase of the 10 startups that we have. But also we have got the launch of the two startups, which we are really excited about. So I'm going to invite our IT Additional Secretary, Mohammed Safirullah Ji, to come on board. if you can. And in fact, I'm just going to use this opportunity to introduce the two startups who are getting launched into Australia. In fact, they were just registered yesterday, today, as part of the Australian registration process. So let me invite both the companies, Do4D Solutions, which is a healthcare medtech company, as well as EcoDue Solutions, which is a clean tech company out of Cochin ecosystem. I'm really pleased and excited to share this message. And if I can invite Mohammed Safirullah ji to just felicitate and recognize this key milestone for these two startups.
Thank you, Irfan. I'd like to congratulate and wish Do4D Solutions Australia and EcoDue Solutions the best for the future. You are a brand ambassadors for the startups in India and Kerala. We wish you the best. I was just seeing the profile in the morning which John and Irfan had sent about the company. A lot of innovativeness and a lot of effort has gone from your side to reach to this stage. But as was mentioned by speakers today, and as we know, it is important to form a very good relationships with the clients, understand the requirement, and it's hard work. And I'm sure all of you will be brand ambassadors and take the relationship forward. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, Safirullah ji. I'm just going to share the screen. Just recognize both EcoDue Solutions Australia and Do4D Australia for their successful launch and registration into Australia. So welcome to Australia, first of all. And I want to invite quickly the founders or co-founders, I should say, to say a few words before we go into the startup showcase. So let me start off with Anjunath from Do4D, and I think Dr. Prasoon as well, co-founders are there. So if you guys want to say a few words, and again, congratulations and best wishes, and look forward to shaping a very successful high growth venture story for you all. So Anjunath and Dr. Prasoon.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Malik. Steve, your message was really helpful. It was really helpful. So many insights into how startups can scale up. Good morning, Safirullah ji, additional IT secretary. First of all, I would like to thank INQ and KSUM for giving us this opportunity. It's a huge milestone for us. I am Dr. Prasoon. I am the founder of Do4D Solutions. Anjunath is here with me. He's another co-founder. Me and Anjunath used to be schoolmates 20 years back in Kottayam. So regarding Do4D, it is an online doctor consultation. It's a telemedicine platform. We launched in 2018. It was actually founded by me and one of my wife's batchmate, another doctor, Dr. Sanu. He's actually an onco-surgeon, a head and neck onco-surgeon, but he has another interest in coding. He's a full stack developer also. So that's how Do4D's idea was born. Before Do4D, I used to blog at beingthedoctor.com. I used to get many messages from my blog through emails and all. So the concept of a telemedicine platform was there from 2012 onwards. And we launched the company and we registered it in 2018. It took us 9 months to create a prototype, a minimal viable product, and we launched. We made a soft launch in 2019 April. So initially, most of our customers were from all over India. We launched only in India. So most of the North Indians were used to telemedicine platforms, and it was not so popular in Kerala. But ever since COVID, we have seen a massive demand in the number of consultations, in the number of online doctor relationship that we are trying to build. It has hugely surged since last March, since March 2020. So now we are doing many consultations every day. We are trying to give 24/7 consultations. We have onboarded more than 500 doctors, and out of them, 175 doctors are actively doing consultations. We have also extended our product line to include other remote health monitoring systems, which that's what Anshanath has brought into Dofuri. Using IoT devices, we will be able to monitor the health parameters of our users. And we are mainly focusing on preventive healthcare, risk management assessment. That's what we are mainly focusing on. And now we are the most popular. I can say this with certainty. We are now one of the most popular telemedicine platforms for Kerala. Sorry about that. For Malayali persons, for every Malayali all over the world, for NRIs, we are the #1 platform, and we are testing a family doctor concept. It's just like the National Health Services in UK. We are trying to build a new kind of doctor-patient relationship, which will enable every person in a family to speak up, even if they have a minute doubt of any health condition they have. They'll be able to speak up with their doctors. And if their family member doesn't speak up, their family doctor will call them and ask them every 2 weeks how their health is, how each and every family member's health is. The family doctor will be able to communicate with the family members in a much more personal way. That kind of relationship has never existed in India. Most persons see a doctor for one time, and the next time they visit a hospital, it will be a completely different doctor. They have to recite every medical history once again for them. So that's not the way that we are looking for. The concept of family medicine, the concept of family doctors, and the concept of concierge medicine, which is actually booming in US and Europe. That's what we are trying to bring into Dofuri, the kind of relationship. That's why, though the number of doctors that we have onboarded on Dofuri is less, the doctor-patient relationship, that quality, we have kept it at a higher bar. So that, in short, about Dofuri, we are extended our product line into IoT devices, and now that most of the corporate hospitals are looking for telemedicine platform, we are giving them on a BOT model also. So that's another business model that we are trying out. We have already signed up with 8 hospitals in Kerala, including Avitis Medical Research Institute in Palakkad. So Dr. Sanu is not able to join us. Apologies for that, but this is in short about Dofuri. Dofuri is derived from doctors for everybody. Those 3 words, we shrunk it into Dofuri. That's in short about Dofuri.
Thank you, Dr. Prasoon. Anshanath, you want to say a few words? Thank you again, and congratulations. Best wishes to you as we scale, you into Australia.
Yeah, thank you, Irfan. Thank you, KSUM. Thank you, InQ, everybody, for the wonderful opportunity. And like Prasoon, everybody was in OT. I've just pulled it up for the great session. And this is going to be a great opportunity for us to even explore the Australian market and get into it. Thank you.
And I think you have good support, and I can assure, at least from representing World Malayali Council Far East and Australia region, we've got a lot of Far East members. We want to definitely get the Malayali diaspora globally to support and really adopt this platform.
Bring Kerala to the whole global, Kerala doctors to the whole global world. That's a key factor.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you all, and good luck and best wishes. Let me invite the second startup, if I can invite EcoDue Solution, Nujum, if you can come on board.
Thank you, Sanjit. I'm audible?
Yeah, you are. So welcome again. Congratulations on your launch into Australia. I think it's an exciting space. Clean tech, circular economy is a huge space for Australia, India. In fact, earlier in the year, we had a very high level gov to gov, even hackathon, and a lot of activation kicked off, even supported by Prime Minister Modi on that side, as well as Scott Morrison, the Prime Minister here. So this is an exciting space. Obviously, it's about how we are able to innovate and also offer fit for purpose solutions for various sectors. That's going to be the key. But looking forward to shaping a successful story for you all. Over to you. If you can make it brief, that'll be great.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Franji. Anyway, good morning, Safrullah sir, CEO, John sir, CEO, KSUM, Irfanji. So, and actually, Irfanji was like, he spent a lot of time with us to understand our like mission and mission statements and how we can like bring our business to Australia. So, thank you for that. And then I would also like to express my gratitude to KSUM and Make a Village. So since 4 years, they were like supporting us from every aspect, funding, market, market disruption and everything. So it was a very fruitful journey for us. And now currently we are working with 4 different partners in 4 different countries. We were part of Dubai Electricity Water Authority. We were their innovation partners. And we are part of a UNDP project that too guided by KSUM. We are part of Green Innovation Fund. We were also part of Toilet Board Coalition. It's an international agency. So we are like looking forward to things in Australia. We will be working in sectors like water treatment, energy management, and industrial automation, particularly because I think in that area like we have a lot of scope, particularly in Australia, as Irfanji has mentioned.
Great,
so
great.
Looking forward to it, sir. Anyway.
Thank you again. Congratulations. I mean, the great opportunity that Australia presents and India presents for Australia is the whole Make in India opportunity. So it's not only your solution being implemented, but also partnering with Australian startup, clean tech startups as well, who would want to manufacture some of those core elements from India. And that's an opportunity that presents for India as well. And I'm sure EcoDu will also be able to access those opportunities as well. So well done. Again, congratulations, and look forward to shaping a success story for you all as well. Thank you. On that note, I mean, one of the core part of this session is the Startup Showcase. I want to invite our KSUM partners, Prajit, if you can take the lead now to invite and have the first 5 startups to kind of present. Maybe you can give a quick overview and just kind of start off with the schedule here. And also what I wanted to recognize and advise all the attendees here as well as who are joining us to also check the link which has been shared by Prajit, which is a link to the landing page or the live streaming page, which will also have all the startup contacts and showcase where you can interact with the startup founders post this session. For this session, we'll just have the startup pitch. Any of the investors, advisors, ecosystem partners who are on board, they can also interact with the startups after the session. They'll be available to interact for 3 or 4 hours after that as well. So depending on your time and best availability, you feel free to connect with the startups and also interact with them as well. So on that note, let me invite Prajit, if you want to just give an overview and also then take over and interact with the startups as well. Over to you, Prajit.
Thank you, Irfan, and good afternoon and good morning to all of the delegates who are present here. I mean, I must say it's a fabulous event when we have made sure that the bridge between the Indian and Australian startup ecosystem should be sustained. And on that note, we have got some amazing startups lined up for today who will be showcasing their ideas with respect to the Australian market access. And we have actually demonstrated startups from the enterprise tech. We have startups from the defense tech. We have startups from the agri tech, and we have startups from the clean tech. So these are the sector-based startups who will be showcasing their products. And I have also posted a link in the chat box where you can just there is a link to the platform. You can see the startup profiles, virtual stalls of the startups there. So for the next few minutes, we'll be having the pitches of the 10 startups. So it is divided into 2 slots. So for the first slot, it will be 5 startups, and for the next slot, it is the 5 startups. So actually today, 10 startups were supposed to pitch, but unfortunately, due to the last minute urgency, one startup founder could not be able to make it, and that is Airo. So anyhow, Airo's virtual stall will be there. You can feel free to attend and visit their stall. And in case if you want to talk to them, you have an option of contact the founder from there. So without taking much time, let me just quickly invite the first startup for the day, Neuroplex, which is actually a startup into smart surveillance using the AI-based attributes. So Savio is the founder of the startup called Neuroplex. Let me invite him. Savio, are you there?
Hello, Pradit. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well. Yeah.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay.
Yes.
So good morning and good afternoon to all the delegates present here. First of all, expressing my gratitude to Pradit and KSUM for giving me the opportunity to showcase what we're doing. And just give me a second so that I can share my screen and then start with the presentation.
Sure, Savio.
Pradit, can you just check whether I have the required permission to screen share?
Yeah, you should have it, and maybe if you can turn on your video as well, we can see you as well.
Oh, yeah, I got the permission and required the video. I am having a bit of an internet bandwidth issue right now.
That's okay.
So,
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
all good.
Thank you.
Please
Thank you.
do start.
Yeah. I'll just share the screen. Just give me a second. Is the screen visible?
Yes, Savio.
Okay. So I'm Savio, co-founder and CEO of Neuroplex. And at Neuroplex, actually, we are into computer vision and deep learning. So using computer vision and deep learning, we are trying to monitor SOPs in various industries, thereby ensuring process compliance, workforce compliance, and then use these data to derive insights and analytics and enhance or increase efficiency of the different processes in different industries. And going on, we are incubated at Kerala Startup Mission for a very long time. And then moving on to what we do. So we're also funded by Indian Oil Corporation, which happens to be one of the major oil and gas players in India. So along with them, we have developed a solution which used to look at security and enhance the operational efficiency using our technology at the retail outlets as of now. So the platform that we have developed is called Nazar, and it is an AI-powered video analytics platform which makes use of the existing CCTV cameras installed at the retail outlets. And using our technology, we derive insights, which is in fact then used to enhance the operational efficiency of the retail outlets. Now, coming into what are the different modules coming under Nazar. Nazar as of now has 3 modules looking at safety and security, analytics, and customer experience. So under safety and security, we look at the various SOPs happening in a retail outlet. So a retail outlet deals with a lot of inflammable products, etc. So making sure that the different SOPs there are executed correctly by the different workers present in the room. So since there are no no direct supervisors who are able to monitor all these workers constantly 24/7, there might be times when there could be violations which could even lead to big disasters. So we mainly have safety and security, and coming to analytics, we look at so we have CCTV cameras at the ROs constantly recording videos, but nothing is made out of it, right? Nothing is made out of it. So we use video analytics and computer vision algorithms to analyze different aspects like customer turn-in ratio, the time spent by each customer at RO, and then also looking at identifying the different customers who come to the retail outlet by using number plate recognition, and then using that to give them loyalty points or to give them repetitive offers, etc. So I'll be quickly going on to the live demo that we have. So just speaking about how Nazar works, it is a edge plus cloud model. As in, when we say edge, we have a device similar to an IoT device placed at the retail outlet, placed at each retail outlet, which actually takes in the CCTV visuals as inputs, and then after processing, the violations or the metadata which is generated is pushed to the cloud, which is then accessible via dashboard to anyone everywhere or irrespective of device. So we go for a edge plus cloud model, and the advantage is that when we go for an edge plus cloud model, it's a low cost solution compared to processing the entire CCTV feeds in the cloud. So now just going on to the demo. So this, as you can see in the screen right now, this is an example of a particular SOP called TT unloading, as they call it. So this is a SOP which happens when a particular retail outlet runs out of its products, and then a new truck from the depot has to come to the retail outlet to refill its products like petrol, diesel, etc. So this is a very systematic SOP which happens step by step, and it has to be done with the utmost attention, because missing out on a single element could lead to a fire, explosion, or something like that. So we use computer vision to log or identify each step which is happening, and then we make a log of it. And whenever we detect a particular violation, a real-time alert is dispatched to the respective stakeholder in the form of a SMS alert or as a push notification in the app that they use. So as you can see here, we can see that in this particular image that we are identifying the truck which is coming. And this green box, the green bounding box which is drawn around the truck, is actually our machine learning algorithms detecting that the truck has come. And then following, we also look for other aspects like whether the caution board signifying that this particular process is happening, so that other normal customers will not come to the vicinity of this area, is actually kept or not. This is also an important step. And to see if fire extinguisher is kept in the vicinity. So these are all very important steps in the process, and if they are not done, we'll immediately dispatch an alert. For instance, as of now, the system didn't detect a fence around the area where this is supposed to happen, and this is raised as an alert. And then we correctly identify when the process has started and so forth. And when we actually detected the fence, which was raised as an alert before, we also flagged that, and the alert which was raised before was automatically closed. So this is just an example of how we are monitoring SOP. So a particular SOP, which is one of the most important SOP that they have. Similarly, we also monitor other various SOPs in the happening in a retail outlet. Now, going on to another aspect, which was to identify customers coming in using number plate recognition. This is just an example of how we are identifying the different vehicles coming in, their make, color, and model, and the number plate, at what time they came, which dispenser they are coming. So we correctly note all of these things down. And this is an example of how we are actually calculating the customer turn-in ratio, or how many vehicles have passed by the retail outlet and how many vehicles have come in, right, on an hour split. So this kind of data, which was not accessible to them as of now, helps them in improving their marketing campaigns, etc. So this again is an example of how we are using computation here. So this is in a nutshell what NASA does in a retail outlet. I'm just showing a very surface level potential of what NASA is able to do. And we build the machine learning algorithms all on our own in-house, and we deploy it on the edge, and on these edge or IoT devices that I mentioned before, which are installed in each retail outlet. And the analytics, etc., everything happens on a real-time basis. Now, going back to the presentation. So the potential of NASA is not just limited to retail outlets alone. Even in the oil and gas industry, we are further going into depth and exploring other use cases available in the oil and gas industry, etc., in LPG bottling plants, aviation fueling stations, etc. And we're also at the point of installing NASA to other industries like the aviation and airline industry, also where they have a lot of SOPs which has to be monitored in real time without any errors and etc. So NASA is also finding its use case in the airline and aviation industry. So using different technological features like which are the peak of the computer vision and machine learning technologies like human attribute detection, action identification, face recognition, number plate recognition. We use that to build operational tools which helps the different stakeholders in all these different industries. And we have worked with other oil and gas and the state police, etc. in surveillance and SOP monitoring, etc. And we are an early stage startup consisting of a team of 7, where we have people working in machine learning and the product and the sales and operations, etc. And with that, I'm winding up regarding what we are doing. Like again, summarizing, we use computer vision and machine learning to enhance and look at the SOPs, thereby enhancing the operational efficiency of different industries. In a nutshell, thank you.
So thank you, Savio, for that presentation. And so, dear audience, so that was a Neuroplex for you. Let me invite the next startup, which is into clean tech. So Troncard Solutions, which is having an amazing product called Flow.io, which is a smart metering solution. So let me take this stage to invite Mr. Anish Chandan, who is the founder of Troncard. Anish, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, Anish.
Hi. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Anish, and I'm representing Troncard Solution. I will share my screen. Troncard is an IoT startup based out of Kerala, and our focus is to bringing IoT and AI in utility metering. We are a 10-member team led by Mr. Pradesh V. Nair, having around 10 years of experience in IoT and embedded technologies. And Anis Ahmad is having around 10 plus years of experience in project management and web technologies. And myself, Anish, having around 10 plus years of experience in sales and marketing. As we know, in utility metering, the technology is not changed for decades, and it caused problems to both consumer as well as the utility supplier. The consumer is struggling with irregular billing due to leakage or faulty meter, whereas in the utility supplier is struggling with the demand response, resource allocation, customer service, etc. Also, the utility provider is struggling with non-revenue water resource. That means the utility provider will able to bill only up to 40% of the utility supplied. Other 60%, 50 to 60%, they are losing due to leakage or fraud. This is a global scenario happening across the globe. To address this issue, a smart metering concept is introduced in 2005, initially with a wired technology, and later it got upgraded to GPRS and GSM. But in both the cases, they are failed to provide an effective solution to the problem faced. So we developed a most effective smart metering solution in water segment to help utility providers, IT parks, housing colonies, etc. To monitor consumption, billing, leak detection, control non-revenue water resource to a larger extent by providing an ultra-low power battery-operated LPWAN enabled smart water meter with a complete software stack for the administrator as well as for the consumer. This is the architectural diagram of our solution, where we procure water meter from already existing water meter manufacturer, and we integrated a automated meter reading unit, which is a LPWAN enabled one, and convert it to a smart water meter. And the smart water meter will send data to the server through respective IoT gateway. And from the server, the utility provider will able to use that data for a billing purpose, analytical purpose, can study the consumption pattern of a consumer, consumption of a consumer, as well as they can view the demand forecast. They can detect leakage, and in the consumer side, they will able to view their consumption on a daily basis, and they can use that data to monitor their consumption, and they can view bill online, they can pay bill online, and they can communicate with the utility provider in case of any problem through our system itself. We have two business model. We have B2B and B2G business model. In B2B, we are dealing with residential complexes, IT parks, housing colonies, etc. And where in case of B2G, we are dealing with the smart cities, water departments, etc. Even though we have a B2G business model, we are not dealing directly with the government. We are dealing through the channel partners. The channel partners will be an IoT network provider, the smart city consultant, water management consultant, etc. Some of the channel partners whom we are associating to do the government projects are iWare Global, one of the leading Sigfox network provider for India and 9 other countries. Hyperthing is a leading IoT network provider, IoT solution provider in smart cities in India and GCC. And Bhutan Telecom is a leading telecom provider for Bhutan. And Telecom Telemetrics is a leading water management consultant in Ivory Coast. Regarding the market is very much booming after the introduction of LPWAN technologies. The global market is growing at a rate of 10% CAGR to 9.6 billion US dollars, whereas in the case of Asian Pacific, also the market is very much booming with 20% CAGR to 400 million US dollars in 5 to 6 years. Whereas we are expected to have a revenue of 177 million US dollars in next 5 to 7 years. This is the competitor analysis sheet. The most of our competitors are the water meter companies who have smart meters. And one of the USP what we have is like our water meter is available in almost all LPWAN technologies. And the value proposition what we offer to our stakeholders is like the utility provider. That means the water department can integrate multiple vendors water meter into our platform. And in the case of the consumer will able to integrate multiple utilities like gas, electricity, HVAC system to our platform other than water. These are the milestones what we achieved since we got incorporated. We got incorporated in July 2018, and June 2019 we launched the beta version, and July 2019 we did our POC with the Kerala Water Authority, and December 2019 our product got approved by Kerala Water Authority, and March 2020 we launched our product in LoRa. And June 2020, we tested successfully our product in Sigfox network and became the first water meter company from India having the Sigfox technology. And August 2020, we signed a MOU with Sigfox network provider. And September 2020, Bhutan Telecom shortlisted us for providing smart metering solution in Bhutan. And November 2020, we completed the initial POC with Bhutan, and in December 2020, we completed 400 plus installations. And in Jan 2021, the Adult Innovation Mission and the Denmark Technical University shortlisted us a winner of a water challenge. And March 2021, we completed 800 plus water meter installation. And May 2021, as a part of the water challenge, we developed a smart valve through which the utility provider can control the flow of water remotely. And August 2021, we are about to start the major rollout in Bhutan Telecom. It's a 5,000 meters. And October 2021, we are expected to start the Indonesian project. The total order volume of the Indonesian project is 1.6 million meters, and the initial deployment will be 50,000 meters. And by December 2021, we are expected to complete 7,500 meter installation. We launched our product in March 2020, and we start acquiring clients from October 2020 onwards. As of now, we have installed 2,300 plus meters across different parts of India and Bhutan. And we have measured 10 million liters of water, and we are able to reduce the water wastage by 20% by detecting the leakage on the real early stage. And we are expected to complete 35,000 plus orders by March 2022. And the first Asian Pacific country other than India, we are focusing to start deploying our solution is Indonesia. The project will be expected to start by November. That's the initial project, and over a period of 3 to 4 years, we are expected to complete 1.6 million units of a water meter. In that project, we are associating with one of the largest water meter provider, that's a Camstra. In past, we got shortlisted as a winner of Next Generation Water Action by the Denmark Technical University and Adult Innovation Mission. And as a part of the program, we developed a smart valve through which we can remotely control the flow of water in case of any leakage or fraud is identified. Thus, water wastage can be reduced and water conservation can be achieved. Thus, we can control non-revenue water resource to a larger extent. And we are also shortlisted to Brigade REAP, one of the largest prop tech, the accelerator in India. That's a small brief about us. Thank you.
Thank you for that presentation about Flow. Next, we have the startup from the agri-tech named Farmers Fresh Zone, which is actually an e-commerce platform, making sure that the farmers in the nation are getting properly benefited for the work they do. So what they do is they procure the safe to eat vegetables from the farmers, and they deliver it to end users. So, Yunus, can you mute yourself, Yunus? So let me invite Mr. Pradeep, who's the founder of Farmers Fresh Zone. Pradeep, can you hear me?
Yes, Pradeep, I can.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you, Pradeep. Good morning and good afternoon, all the people gathered over here. So my name is Pradeep, founder and CEO of Farmers Fresh Zone. Farmers Fresh Zone is an agri-tech startup, and we are working towards a vision of ensuring food safety in agri supply chain for 1 billion. So let me share my screen. Pradeep, hope you can see my screen.
Yes, Pradeep, we can.
Yeah. So I would like to start the presentation by stating some of the facts. So in India, more than around 60% of the people is depending on the agriculture, but their contribution towards Indian GDP is less than 16%. And so we know that the pandemic itself shown we can be able to live without phone, maybe internet or a lot of things, but we can't be able to live without the food. And when we are actually buying a biscuit, there will be a lot of information, where it's manufactured, when it's expiry date. So all the things will be there. Okay. And according to World Health Organization, every human have to consume around 450 grams of fruits and vegetables every day. So that's itself showing how much quantity, that's the importance of fruits and vegetables in our daily life. So, and there's another fact is that in the health diseases, most of the things are contributing through the foodborne, because we are not too much aware about the food and its quality. So we at Farmers Fresh Zone trying to ensure our consumers that we are delivering the safe and the best food, that helping them to ensure their health. So how we are actually achieving that? So we are creating our supply chain in such a way that from the harvest till it's reaching to the end consumer within 16 hours. And our vegetables are safe to eat. So our farmers, we have an app to collect the data from the farmers, and we train them if there's anything goes wrong. So the n number of checkpoints and n number of AI-driven algorithms to make a lot of checks. And we ensure that our farmers are producing the safe to eat vegetables, and they are following the production practice that we are suggesting. And so these are actually we are saying. So whether it's a believable, what are the trust factor we are putting forward? Yes, there's a traceability we have in our website itself. So we can see, or for each vegetable, where it's actually coming, how it's manufactured. So farm level traceability is there, and we are piloted with unit level traceability. In the next page, you can be able to see that. So that's giving a complete visibility and our consumers to believe what we are saying. And it's a completely driven by the technology, starting from demand prediction. So we predict the demand, based on that our farmers do the farming, and so which ensure our farmers also get the best income, because to produce such a quality produce, we can't be able to just say you produce quality items. To produce the quality, we need to give them best price. So this demand driven farming helping our farmers to generate the best income as well. Yeah, so this is the fresh, how we are actually ensuring our freshness. So we are doing a conscious decision on setting up our collection center. Our collection centers will be located in a rural area, which is around 4 to 6 hours, or maybe less than 250 kilometers travel from our urban city. and which that horticulture village should have a huge variety of fruits and vegetables must be cultivated over there. So we to take our collection center over there, and we train our farmers. So we know how to engage the first farmer, how to get the second farmer, and how to create a community over there. And from there, that's the time frame actually I have mentioned. That's actually reaching to the fulfillment center, and from the fulfillment center, it's reaching to the end consumer. So why actually we are highly focusing on the inventory light, asset light, and this fast supply chain? Because in the case of fruits and vegetables, when after the harvest, its nutrition degradation starts. So for example, in the case of amaranthus, after 24 hours of harvest, 90% of the vitamin C is actually losing. So actually that's what actually I'm saying, that we are a health partner to our consumers, and we are ensuring that our supply chain is very short. And these are the three areas where we forcefully look and make proper control. So the three reasons for the food material to contaminate is the three: soil, crop, and produce. So in three areas, we have put our own enough controls and ensuring through the scientific method. So for the soil test and all things will be doing over there. And for the crops, we are ensuring it's when a farmer is trying to start a cropping, that time itself, actually, we have their data, what they are going, what's their past experience, what are the fertilizer pesticides they use, is they using any restricted pesticides. So everything will be captured in our system. And the crop is ready, we are testing that in the laboratory. And the produce from the farmer, it's reaching to the end consumer. That distance is called food mileage. If you're talking about Kerala, this food mileage is more than 1,400 kilometers. So actually, we are trying to reduce that to below 2, longer in the traditional industry, and these are highly perishable. After the harvest, they have to use some chemicals, but we are ensuring that's not in our supply chain. And this is a unit level traceability, what I have mentioned. So it's like a tomato at the sourcing center, it will be labeled on the crate, and after that it's moving to the fulfillment center. There, as per the customer requirement, it's packing. So there's a scanning and a lot of process are actually happening, and the data is actually storing over there, and it's delivering to the end consumer. So when the end consumer is scanning that individual packet, they can be able to know all the information. So right now the farmer name and few information. In the later stage, it will be a tree. It will be a tree, a tomato saying its story. This day I'm started. My seeds are. It's a storytelling that we'll be trying to develop, because we know that after the COVID and all, people are more conscious about their food and quality of the foods, and completely data driven. So we are on the same track. And this is a demand driven farming that our core. So actually, we predict our demand based on our marketing budget, expansion plan, and a lot of things. And we will be checking on the SKUs and what are the farmers, what are the areas, how much land actually we are having, what are the SKUs in the plan. And based on these two things, we will be getting an assessment. After 3 months, such SKUs are not as per our requirement. So we will be going for adding new farmers and train them, and ensuring them that our supply chain is not broken and we are getting enough supply from the farmers. So this is a sample case study of one of our farmer. So he's a young guy who is owning around 3 acres of land. So his income has been increased in 15% in a 1 year of time. So what we have made the change is that from a monocropping to multi-cropping, and his income revenue per month per acre from 8,000 to it's a 50% increase and reached to 12,000. So, and this is some of the pesticide residue tests that we are doing on that farmer. And this is the attractive unit economics. So why this is attractive? So in India, if you are talking about, there are n number of startups, n number of companies doing foods and vegetables, but their unit economics, but their average transaction value in the foods and vegetables is around 220 rupees. So as if we are talking about our competitor Big Basket, if you are talking fruits and vegetables as a commodity, Big Basket and maybe Clover or OTP are our competitor. But what the value we are creating, I think in Bangalore there is one startup who is also doing the similar value creation. So, but comparing all, our ATV is above 550, and our customer retention is yearly is more than 49%. That's a bigger in the industry. And actually, our contribution also it's more than 10%. So So that's what actually I have earlier mentioned. Our model is on the asset light and inventory light model. And these are the strong unit economics and our growth. And so our organization is supported by Indian Angel Network along with Malabar Angels and Native Angels. And now recently we have raised a pre-Series A round funding and looking for a Series A funding to expand to more cities. And we have a strong team that's supporting us in the technology, operation, HR, and all the teams. Actually, we have a strong team with a visionary advisor, Mr. Nagaraja Prakasham. And this is the growth plan that's in our mind. And so this financial year, we will be clocking around 22 crores. And by 2026, we will be clocking more than 1,000 crores in the revenue. So yeah, so this is a small presentation from my part. Yeah, thank you. And hello.
Yes, Pradeep. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the story of Farmers First Zone, and I believe the problem statement what I have mentioned, it's not in Thrissur or not in Kerala or not in India, it's across the globe. So we would like to expand this our model, which is actually proven over here to across other areas and a lot of people. That's what our vision is, to ensuring food safety for 1 billion people.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pradeep. I think it was quite insightful, and I'm sure what you've just shared resonates in the Australian ecosystem as well, where agri-food tech is co-critical. I'm sure there are similar areas, and I think there could be synergies from people who are also looking to collaborate as well. So thank you, Pradeep. Just wanted to plug in that to all the attendees, as Prajeet mentioned, please check out the link on the startup mission, which Prajeet has shared. You can interact with Pradeep and all the other startups as well as we go. Once we have the first set of 5 startups pitch, we will have our friends and ecosystem partners from Malaysia, where we will be interacting as well. So please do stay tuned and feel free to interact with the startup founders on that startup mission page, where their stalls and stands have been set up as well. Thank you. Prajeet, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Irfan. So next we have a startup named Alcodex, which is having an amazing product called Envitas. Envitas is actually a portable device to measure the block by block environmental data with AI-powered cloud platform, which is used for live, historic, and forecasted environmental information. So let me take this opportunity to welcome Mr. Arjun. Arjun, are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you, Arjun. Please.
Thank you. Yeah. So good afternoon and good morning, everyone. Myself, Arjun Verma. I'm one of the co-founders of Alcodex. And the brand that we have is a solution by Alcodex, which is called Envitas. So we started off in 2013. We started off with the solution in around 2015. As we went along the journey, we got ourselves ISO 9001 and 14001 certified for our product line Envitas. We also have a partner company in Malaysia called Emergence Wireless, through which we have some IoT solutions being developed in Malaysia, specifically for telecom infrastructure providers for monitoring of the structural integrity. So what Envitas is basically an end-to-end IoT solution for real-time environmental monitoring. So we build the hardware. So we OEM our devices, the hardware devices, which would capture or acquire the data. And then this would be sent to an IoT platform. Again, the platform is a proprietary platform that we built, which is server agnostic. So you can run it on your on-premise server, or you can run it on your third-party cloud servers. Yeah. Now the data again from the server can be used to create awareness, and this awareness is later driven to drive actionable intelligence. So we work on the 4 pillars of IoT, basically to acquire data, analyze data, create awareness, and drive actionable intelligence. So Envitas has got 4 different verticals. We work on air quality, water quality, agri-tech space, and as well as in the weather monitoring space. So we put it in 4 different product lines called AirU, HydroU, AgriU, and SafeU. So in air, which is like a more penetrated solution, we work both on the indoor air quality as well as the outdoor air quality, which is called the ambient air quality. So all our solutions fundamentally have a concept of a universal control platform, wherein you could mix and match your sensor requirements or your parameters to the hardware. Similarly, you can mix and match your communication module to the hardware, also your power requirements, and then based on the requirement, you could take the solution to the market. So for one simple example that we've done in the past, say for example, we worked with a couple of smart cities in India. So in one smart city that we worked in, we've got the outdoor units being deployed in 21 locations in Raipur. So what we do is, based on the city's requirement, we define the gaseous parameters that needs to be monitored for pollution. Say it could be CO2, it could be particulate matter, it could be your NOx, SOx, ozones, it could be even weather parameters. It could be like temperature, humidity, wind speed, wind direction. And then this data is communicated via multiple communication technologies. So they generally have a fallback mechanism. They could either use a via traditional mechanism, or then they could go for 3G, 4G based communications, Wi-Fi based communication, and the data is then put into our platform, wherein the analysis of the data is done under air quality index as per the pollution control board. Central Pollution Control Board of India is defined. As per those norms, we give out an air quality index, and then this information is made available to citizens through Citizen app. Similarly, on the water space, we've got water quality stations which cater to two different segments. One for water bodies, basically to identify the Carlson's index, which could give you an idea of what the sustainability of aquatic life is in that water body. And then for your residential or commercial water tanks, wherein the primary idea is to identify whether the water is safe for drinking. So most of the solutions are real time or near real time. On the agri space, we've got soil monitors, which can be like in situ soil monitors, which can be placed in particular points in the farm for over a period of time, and then gather data of your soil in terms of moisture, in terms of nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus content in the soil, also your pH level of the soil. Similarly, on the habitat front, we work with communities and municipalities and smart cities in giving them weather data and flood monitoring solutions. Also, on a lower level, we provide panic buttons and emergency call box, which are generally deployed on poles. So what we've done so far, we've worked in a lot of smart cities in India. We started off with Gandhinagar smart city, and then gradually did Bhopal with Ericsson, Nagpur with L&T, Delhi with Tata Projects, Raipur again with L&T, Kuala Lumpur with KEC. So generally we work with a lot of engineering construction companies which generally do the smart cities in India, and we are empaneled vendors for this particular solution. And in the recent past, we've also started commercializing our indoor air quality solutions, which we have got a good customer base. And the indoor air quality solution generally works on a real-time health risk assessment model, wherein you could plug in your air quality devices to understand the indoor environment and the impact that has on the people or the occupants in that particular space. So what we've done so far mostly is in India. We've also recently done an export to Vietnam, which is a commercial export. So we perceive we might actually get some future access to the Southeast Asian markets. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Arjun. That was quite insightful. Yeah, please, stay tuned for some of those interaction with the potential ecosystem partners as well on the stall after the session. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Arjun. So with that, Irfan, we have completed the startup pictures for this lot.
Okay.
So Airo was supposed to be presenting, but as I said earlier, in last minute urgency, couldn't be able to make it.
I think, yeah. I think maybe we can do a quick brief intro on iRove. iRove is a defense tech startup, and maybe Prajit towards the end, after the second round of pitches, we can talk about iRove as well. Just give a brief introduction anyway. Thank you. Now, on that note, let me invite our ecosystem partners out of Malaysia. Ryan, if I may welcome you, if you're there, to come on board. First, again, warm welcome to you from Australia, and Kerala as well, for joining on board from Malaysia. You are representing one of the leading digital economy organizations in Malaysia. So welcome again. Thank you for coming on board. And I'm sure we'll gain a lot of insights about the ecosystem. So let me start off by just inviting you to share a bit more of the MDEC as an organization, some of the activities and some of the, I mean, not only the vision, but also some of the ecosystem capacity building and scaling of support activities that you do. So over to you, Ryan. If you want to give us a bit of insight about MDEC, that'd be great.
Sure. Thank you, Irfan. And I assure you the pleasure is all mine. It's happy to be able to come onto this platform to be able to share a little bit about what we do. And of course, as ecosystem builders, to connect our various different ecosystems together, both Kerala and India, and of course, also in Australia. So, and just before I go into more details, I just also want to share our organization, MDEC, MDEC. We signed a collaboration agreement, or an MOU, with Austrade end of last year. And the intention of this is to actually build pathways between both countries to connect our digital economies and our digital ecosystems together, and to be able to facilitate two-way flow and exchange of information as well. So, so a little bit about the organization that I work for, Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation, MDEC, or MDEC for short, right? We are a government agency, fully funded by the government, and we are, as of this year, 25 years old. So we started back in 1996, and the whole reason for this is because probably many people will know that, when we talk about Malaysia, the economy, it's primarily back in the 90s, right? Primarily very commodities driven, agricultural driven, and so on, right? So back in the 90s, the government had this vision on transforming the economy to a knowledge-based economy. And when they looked around, they identified that the information technology sector, or what we call the digital sector today, is going to be the next engine of growth. Hence, our organization was created to develop and support and spur this new engine of growth for the country. And that's where we have various different initiatives being set up. Primarily, one of the key things was a set of tax incentives, right, to attract foreign companies to come into Malaysia. And the reason why we had to do this is because at that point in time, there wasn't enough homegrown IT companies or digital companies. So there was a need to attract foreign companies to come in to set up this and to also do knowledge transfer and technology transfer to us. Hence the tax incentives, and of course, working together with academia to ensure that we've got the supply of talent locally to be able to fill these jobs in the future. So that's 25 years ago. Fast forward 25 years later, obviously a lot of things have changed. I think one of the key things that we note is that IT is no longer confined to a you can't package IT and put it as a standalone anymore, right? Digital cuts across all industries and all sectors. I think there was also a comment to say that today, all businesses, regardless of what industry you're in, is a software business, is a digital business, right? So we've seen banks transforming themselves, adopting a lot of digital. We've seen energy companies, we've seen manufacturing companies, and so on. So today, that's why we've also sort of slightly changed our name a little bit to reflect this, to be Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation. The thing that we want to focus on moving forward would be 4 areas. Number one, it's about new skills. So that, I think that is a focus that has not really wavered over the last 25 years, right? But we still see this as important because as technology evolves, as the industry evolves, new skills are needed. So we continue to have a focus on digital skills development to ensure that the citizens of Malaysia will be able to access these skill sets. And we're not just talking about university students or secondary school students coming out of school, but we're also looking, on the other hand, which are the current working professionals. So working professionals who may need to be reskilled to fit into the digital economy, or in some cases to be upskilled further, right? So that they can then enhance their contributions to the business and to the economy. So two aspects of that, and that's something we work very closely with academia and also industry together to ensure that we have the right fit. Second thing is adoption, and we focus on this because you know, as businesses transform, it's also important that traditional businesses are not left behind on the digital bandwagon. And we saw this play a very key role, especially in the last year and a half or so, where all these disruptions came in. You know, our normal way of life was disrupted, and a lot of businesses were forced literally to adopt digital, or they will be disrupted forever, right? So it was timely for us that we had started this kind of initiative a few years before. First of all, getting our small medium enterprises to be able to adopt digital processes and digital technology within their company operation, and doesn't have to be very major things, right? It could be simple things such as adopting a payroll system, a HR system, a point of sale system, and some kind of digital marketing tool, e-commerce presence, and so on. So these would be the simple building blocks we want to put in place. And then we also work with large enterprises in terms of identifying what are the kind of challenges they face, and how we can bring in our startup ecosystem, our scale-ups to innovate and co-create together with them. And the third thing is what we call it disruptors. So over 25 years, we've been thankfully been able to grow the ecosystem and grow the industry. And we now have a very interesting and very thriving startup ecosystem in Malaysia as well. In fact, last year when Startup Genome released a report, Kuala Lumpur, our business capital, is ranked 11 in the emerging ecosystem index. And we have aspirations to obviously increase this rank and to move into the mainstream ranking. So there is a rich pool of startups and scale-ups in the ecosystem. So we do continue to have programs to, number one, be able to support them from aspects such as mentoring and coaching, to bring in entrepreneurs, seasoned entrepreneurs, to coach them and guide them on how to grow the business, business matching programs, or globalization programs to help them to expand their businesses into other countries, and then also connecting them to potential investors, VCs, PEs, and so on, and then also working on other ecosystem initiatives to help them to scale further. So that's working with disruptors. And then the last bit is what we call investments. And then specifically, this is what we call foreign direct investments. So again, Malaysia is not a huge country. We are a upper middle income country, still a lot of room to grow, and small economy relatively, only about a 30 million population. So we do continue to welcome foreign companies to come in to invest in Malaysia and to be able to grow operations here. So we have a separate focus on that as well. So these are the 4 key areas that we look at, and to be able to continue to improve our position in many of these indexes.
Great, Ryan. I think that was really insightful and great to know about the aspiration and then continued drive that you have at MDEC and also Malaysian government to support scale-ups and also create a market access pathway as well. And one of the interesting things that we really focus as part of a global open innovation ecosystem is to foster multi country or multi-market global access. And we believe obviously Kerala and broader Indian ecosystem provides a great opportunity for them to scale into East Asia market, with Malaysia or Singapore, Malaysia being key markets to really be a launch pad into servicing the rest of the Far East region as well. And of course, to also a landing pad before launching into Australia. So definitely looking forward to that. If I may reflect on the startup investment ecosystem, what does the investment support ecosystem look like in Malaysia? Not only the gov-backed grants or funding, but the private investor or the HNI, the whole VC ecosystem. How does that look like?
Yeah. So obviously, in comparison to some other markets, we may probably be not as robust and not as mature in comparison to, say, Singapore or Hong Kong, or even India and the US, for example. But what I think we have is a diverse investment landscape. So we have the traditional government-backed institutions, right, that comes in with different forms of funding. So whether it's a government-backed VC, government-backed grants, and even debt financing institutions, specifically focused on innovation companies. So there's all those different flavors that we have in the public sector, and generally they are very friendly and they're very open. And then at the same time, we have a very diverse pool of locally based venture capitals. Based locally. So obviously some of them are local, some of them are foreign, but these are private venture capital that is in Malaysia and working very closely with MDEC and other agencies and ministries to connect to the ecosystem to raise funding. And then on the other hand, we have also something that's fast picking up a lot of traction, which is what we call alternative funding. So alternative funding is what is the catch-all phrase that we use when we talk about equity crowdfunding and also P2P funding. And again, over the last 2-3 years, we see that there is a lot of interest when it comes to raising capital through these means. And I think that's because number one, it offers a relatively low entry level for entrepreneurs who want to raise funding with not a lot of I would say encumbrance when it comes to dealing with other forms of investors such as a VC or a PE, right? So you deal with only ECF, you promise a certain return and so on, and you work with that. And then once they are able to hit a certain scale, then it also gives them that kind of assurance to go talk to a larger VC. So that's something that we see picking up as well. And then of course your angel networks and so on. And then also what we see in general is because we are in Southeast Asia, and what's interesting is that within all the Southeast Asian economies, it's a very small network of VCs and they all talk to each other. So we also do get VCs from Indonesia, from Singapore and Thailand coming in and exchange investments across the different countries. And we're also seeing now a lot of investors from Japan and China also coming into the region. Recently this year, government launched a VC matching fund, which they are now working with 8 different VCs, pairing them up with local VCs together. So hence again, the focus on knowledge transfer from foreign VC to the local VC. So there's 8 pairs of these VCs that's been identified and appointed by the government, and the government is coming in with a matching fund. And the total fund size is now sitting at about 1.2 billion, which is approximately 300 million US. Right? So that's something that was launched this year, and already they've made 3 to 4 different investments already. One of which is Malaysia's first unicorn. So this is things that's happening, and we think that it's an inflection point, and bigger things will come very soon.
Great, amazing insight and exciting opportunity there. Malaysia has had great relationship, long-term relationship with India, for a long number of years, and also fostering closer relationship with Australia as well. So what is your key message to the startup founders, both from Australia and India, looking at Malaysian market to scale, not only as a launch pad, but also to service rest of the Far East region? What is your key message for them?
Yeah, so I think the key thing is exactly the word that you use, launchpad, right? So, when we look at Malaysia, we think that, Malaysia is not the market, right? So, and we tell our local entrepreneurs the same thing, right? Malaysia is not the market for you, right? It's not the only market. Look at the whole of Southeast Asia, or maybe even larger, right? And when we look at Southeast Asia, it's a market of 650 million people, right? Moving up the economy very fast. You have Indonesia next to us. You've got Thailand, Vietnam. That's also growing at a very fast rate. So we want entrepreneurs to look at the whole of Southeast Asia, the whole 650 million people, and the amount of people within this region that is moving on to the internet economy. We saw statistics from Google last year saying that last year alone, there were 40 million new internet users from Southeast Asia, right? Who came onto the internet and were using internet services for the first time ever. And that's more new users in 1 year alone than the previous 5 years. And in the next next 4 years, by 2025, the digital economy, the internet economy of the whole region is going to triple to 300 billion US. So I think that's the market potential, number one. Number two, why Malaysia? I think Malaysia has a very unique position from a logistical and transport perspective. We are quite in the middle of the region, and we're less than 4 hours away by flight to any country in Southeast Asia, and we are very well connected from a logistics and transportation perspective. Number three, I think, is culture. So Malaysia, it's a very multicultural, multi-ethnic society, right? And there's a lot of diaspora from India that's been living in Malaysia for generations. Likewise, many Malaysians have studied in Australia and have returned back, and they've brought back those relationships and the understanding of different cultures. So I think this kind of multicultural, multi-ethnic, multilingual perspective is something that's important and to be able to capitalize on in this region. So although we talk about Southeast Asia, right, we also recognize that Southeast Asia is not a homogeneous block of countries and cultures, right? It's essentially 10 different countries, 10 different cultures, and 10 different ways of thinking and doing business. So I think the uniqueness about Malaysia is that because we are brought up in such a diverse mix, that we are able to adapt, we are able to work with different countries and different ways of doing business, and because many of us can also speak multiple languages, so that also makes it a little bit easier when it comes to connecting with different countries around the world, and in particular Southeast Asia. And of course, I think the key things would be when it comes to the basic things, when it comes to basic infrastructure such as internet infrastructure, we are pretty well position, especially in the urban areas. Lifestyle-wise, it's not too far away from most developed cities, most developed countries. And of course, when it comes to laws and regulations, we are like yourself, once part of the British colony, right? So we inherited a lot of laws and all these policies from the British. So in terms of laws and regulations, I think it's quite seamless in terms of transition and so on. So I think these would be some of the few key points that I can think of.
I think you summarized it really well. In fact, it's about looking at the whole Far East Asia market, Indonesia, and Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, all around Southeast Asia, with Malaysia as a launch pad or a hub to service that market, and a growing support from the governments, really enticing. And I think I'll call out to all the founders who are on the session, all the founders who are pitching as well, to definitely look out for the prospects of how we can scale up. And I'm sure they'll be able to get support from MDEC as well. So thank you again on that note, and really appreciate, and do stay back and check out and interact with some of the startup founders as well, where you can guide out. I'm always a believer that the ecosystem capacity building team like yours have a great role to play, just to create the pathway, create that network or that connect, which has got a profound impact. Thank you again, Ryan. Let me call in Anthony. I think you just made it in time. I'm sure we are running short of time, but I want to definitely get you to chime in as well. Just share some of your thoughts as an ecosystem capacity builder yourself, being involved in advising quite a lot of startups, but also being someone who has come from India, migrated to Malaysia, and really contributing quite a bit to the ecosystem. So welcome, Anthony. So we've had obviously quite a lot of insights from Ryan about the MDEC and the Malaysian ecosystem. Let me get your perspective around the journey of startups going from India to Malaysia. What sort of pathways that you have experienced, or you have kind of helped advise, as well as what are your thoughts and message to them?
Thank you, Irfan. And I'm on the back of what Ryan was sharing. I'll just give you some perspectives of. I think it's Malaysia is like positioned in like a conduit within ASEAN, right? It's able to connect the South Asia market, the Pacific market, and the North Asia market. Kind of positioned well with the mix of all the blends of all the cultures and aspects and knowledge, right? So a couple of things I wanted to highlight. I think in the recent report, you might have noticed that notable startups are picking up. And in fact, Malaysia recently announced a unicorn as well. I think you're familiar with KSUM, right? So, and there are a couple of things that's taking our position and advantage to this right now. One is, of course, it's a strategic location, right, between all and positioning a potential access to the region, right? So that gives everyone who would like to, one, look at the knowledge experience coming across, two, looking at the capital movement that's coming across, and three is also to scale, right? So you're looking at all of the high quality requirements that we are looking for startups as part of it. So that's number one. And I think recently Malaysia has also jumped some ranks up, I think, in the ratings that has come up in a startup ecosystem. And 4 new cities, usually city, social, and the impact side helps the organizations to have a nurturing environment for startup ecosystem, right? And that's the second point I want to highlight. There are 4 cities, I think, which is on top of the list. Of course, Kuala Lumpur, as you know, Georgetown, Johor, and of course, Sinai is part of it. But I will say, highlight these and Sandakan, right? So these are some of a kind of a ecosystem starting engines that's come up as part of the aspect. Now, the third one I wanted to highlight would be the talent and the positive mindset. So you're talking about, I think earlier, I think Ryan would have spoken about from support from an industry perspective from MDEC is good. We are watching that space, looking at embracing. So I wear another hat. I'm part of the National Tech Association, which is PCOM. And so we actively are engaging with the strongest talent in terms of the movement. And that ecosystem of talent comes across all of APAC or around the world as well, right? Into Malaysia. So be it India or be it Singapore or be it Indonesia or or the US or Australia, it's kind of a bridge to bring all of them together. So, and that is possible because of that accessibility, and of course the nurturing culture and environment of that. And of course, some of the big names like KSUM or Victor Chad or earlier in the days iFlakes, and all of these were part of those startups that has built traction to ensure that they're able to stabilize and move forward. So I think in a gist, I would say the environment is allowing and encouraging people to exchange. Today, majority of us are working from home, unless you are in a location where everything is taken care. But with this pressure points in place, this entire startup activation is more faster and more accelerated right now. But of course, I'm not going to say it's all hunky-dory. So there is a set of challenges, right, that we need to keep in mind. And I think the challenges related to capital investment, VC networks, angel networks, and all of these will need to play an important part. And the facilitation of all of this to bridge everybody together, because talent can come from anywhere. Experts are now, co-founders are sitting across, founders are sitting in different parts of the world and founding companies out of Malaysia. So imagine what you can do with that. And you are in Australia, right? So imagine how Australia, Malaysia can work, or India and Malaysia can work. So there's a lot more collaboration that can be done. So for that to happen, we need a bridge or a facilitation that can accelerate. And MDEC is doing a great job on that. And of course, it's across the board. It's more than that, right? We need to make sure that overall the ecosystem kind of need to position and move up and have some Bay Area. Everything happens in magic, they say. So something like that in a way that can happen here as well. So those are my initial thoughts. Irfan, back to you.
Thank you, Anthony. Maybe just conscious of time, one more last question. What is your message to the startup founders looking to launch from Australia and India to Malaysia? And if you want to reflect on any case studies where you work with as an advisor or investor or a facilitator for one of those startups from India who scale into Malaysia.
Yeah, in fact, I did. But I can't name the firm, right? So it's very sensitive.
That's all right. Just say that
it's a big name. It's a big name out of in India, and I believe they are having traction into Asia or ASEAN. I would say, particularly with Malaysia as a conduit, but more into Indonesia. I think the idea is they understood the social fabric of how to connect between India and ASEAN, right? So they were able to look at what will set the motion for them, right? And to drive their interest to reach every consumer and also empower them to be able to drive their I think by now you should have already guessed who I was speaking about. So kind of enable small entrepreneurs, right, to be able to kind of make them visible and be able to, but it's in a different segment. I'm not talking about the big boys, but the idea is to reach that every single person in every rural area or in a I would say rural area to urban area kind of mix. And the idea is to make sure that they can help to connect the dots of the need of the consumers, right? And as well as the corporates in a way, but more so towards consumers. So the aspect of the social fabric, 1. 2 is the comfort level of being able to work in that country with the right partnership networks and associates. And 3 is also to look at the economic advantages that you can bridge between the population, because ASEAN is technically the 3rd largest economy in the world, right? So how do we bridge that between one of the largest to the 3rd largest, so kind of thing. So that's a message. And now the message I would like to say is, of course, I'm sure you would have heard from everyone. So 3 things I like to make sure I share with you. A trusted, seek to understand your trusted founders and network and your team. Not everyone can be co-founders, right? So you'll have to make sure that you're able to share your equity in a way which is more practical with them, and so that they have the staying power with you, they believe in you. And of course, 3 is make sure that you're clear with the market and the positioning of what you're driving at. So those are the thoughts I will leave you with, Irfan. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. I'm sure we'll have the startups reach out to you, both Anthony and Ryan. Thank you for sharing insights about the Malaysian ecosystem. And I'm sure our partners there, Alex, Santosh from Alpha Business and Growth Byte, will also be there to support and the ecosystem outreach as well as scale up aspirations of some of these founders. Thank you again, Anthony. I just must acknowledge we're obviously running over, and I must seek all your permission. We might be about 15 or 20 minutes over, but I seek your support so that you stick around and hear the startups who are going to pitch as well in a short while. So over to you, Prajit, if I can invite you back and for the second part of the startup pitch. And again, acknowledging that you can connect with these startup founders on that link that Prajit has shared on the Startup Mission Demo Day page. And I also want to acknowledge there's another big demo day on happening in parallel. So do check out some of those startup stands as well. Over to you, Prajit.
Thank you, Irfan. So welcome, dear audience, for the second part of the startup pitches. And for this slot, we have 5 amazing, fabulous startup products who are going to give their demos, give their presentation to you. So first in the line is Intort Technologies, which is a technology-driven company with prime focus on enabling cost-effective next-gen digital media receivers. It has a tech-enabled IP solution for digital radio and receivers. So let me invite Mr. Rajit, who is the founder of Intort, to introduce you to Intort. Rajit, can you hear me?
Yes, Prajit. Thank you for the invitation. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I thank organizers of this meeting for providing me an opportunity to present the activities of Intort. We are a startup based in InfoPark, Kochi. I would just share my presentation and give you an outline of the activities that we are doing. Can everyone see the screen?
Yes, Rajit, we can.
Okay. So we work primarily in digital broadcast receiver IP solutions. So TV has changed over from analog to digital, but radio is mostly continuing in its analog part, AM and FM. And over the world, everyone is driving towards digital, and broadcast radio receivers are also, not only receivers, transmission side is also driving towards digitalization. And we work towards next generation digital radio receiver products, and we have improvised solution with granted patents. We are trying to break the myth that cost effectiveness and quality do not go hand in hand, because currently the new technology is offering amazing features, but the receivers are costing a lot of money to the common man. So this we want to break, and this is what exactly we are working on. So we have very high quality solution, and that is cost effective. And we have licensed it to 3 tier 1 customers. Clarion is one of the major tier 1 companies who has licensed our solution. And our solution is going to come in 1 million automotive units in December. So we work towards IP solutions for all the digital radio receiver standards, DRM, DRM plus, DAB, HD radio, and CDR. So each of these names may sound like an acronym, but what I mean to say is that different countries adopt different standards. So we have a universal solution. Whichever country is adopting whichever solution, we have solution for that. And we have solution for all the 3 form factors, automotive, consumer, and smartphone. In that order, the traction also comes in. So our clientele includes, as I mentioned, Clarion. We have another Japanese automotive tier 1, which is of the similar profile as Clarion. Due to confidentiality issues, I cannot name the company. But Telechips is a major semiconductor company in automotive segment. And we also collaborate with companies like MediaTek and Xperi for the digital radio receiver solutions. We have 2 Indian patents granted, 2 US patents granted, and 1 patent pending in India. We will be applying the same in US as well. And we are the winner of National Technology Awards of Government of India, Association of Chamber and Commerce. Digital Radio Mondial Enterprise Award is the award given by the Worldwide Digital Radio Consortium for one company that helps in the deployment of digital radio solutions. This is for our deployment efforts in India, as well as for our patents, granted patents in the digital radio technology. And we won the Best Service Startup Award of Confederation of Indian Industries. So this is, as I mentioned, this is a global market. So when we switch from analog to digital radio, what do we get? We get amazing number of channels. So currently 1 frequency, we get 1 channel, but with digital radio, we can get a minimum of 3 to maximum of 15 channels in 1 frequency. And this is high quality entertainment. The quality is going to increase because of the compression that we achieve in digital. And this can be used for education because currently online education is picking up. And in rural areas and areas where we could not afford a lot of bandwidth, digital radio receivers could be used for education. And we have a variety of programs coming in, and we have useful information like traffic updates. So if there is an accident or if there is any route change, all this information can be broadcasted across digital radio. And last but not the least is emergency warning. So emergency warning, even if your radio is in standby or you are playing some other music, your radio will pop up a message saying that some disaster has happened. You have to drive towards safety, and all the details will be displayed in your screen. So analog radio is going to have the sunset soon. Most of the European countries have mandated, starting from European Union, then followed by Switzerland, Italy, Germany, France. All of them are making their own legislation to shut down analog. Norway has already shut down analog completely and moving towards digitalization. And India is also one of the forerunners. Australia is also one of the early adopters of this technology. So we envisage a requirement of about 1 billion new digital radio receivers in different form factors in automotive, consumer, and smartphones across the 4 major digital radio broadcasting technologies, that is DRM, DAB, HD, and CDR. So based on the each of the regions, adoption will take place. For example, CDR is only in China, DRM is in India, South Africa, Russia, Indonesia. HD is mainly in North America, Canada, USA, and Mexico. DAB is mainly in Europe, Australia, UAE, similar kind of countries. And since this has some specific to the Australian context, I thought I'll put this slide as well. So Australia has shown a serious interest in adopting to digital radio. They have substantial adoption in VHF3 band. 64% of the population is already covered. And we have 391 DAB plus radio stations operating in Australia. 77% of the new cars in Australia are having digital radio reception. But household, the penetration is comparatively less. It is only 52%. but the receiver sales are going to pick up very fast in Australia, not only in Australia but worldwide also. So Australia, the peculiarity is that the focus is more on the urban spaces, but interesting development is that Australia is also trying to facilitate digital broadcast radio reception in rural areas as well through adoption of DRM. DRM is one digital radio standard which could transmit for a longer distance compared to DAB. So DRM adoption is also likely to happen in Australia. So another important factor is not only in cars, but the household reception is also going to increase, and also the availability of radio in smartphones. We are working towards Australian geography with a major car company which is launching our solution in Australia. We work with Clarion Malaysia and Clarion Japan to be specific for the Australian geography. We have our IP solution licensed to Clarion. Along with that, we co-develop certain solutions with Clarion for the Australian geography. This is especially in the automotive infotainment domain. And what is the problem? So I mentioned that the technology is very nice compared to analog radio, but it is costing a huge amount of money to the consumers, especially to buy the receiver. Even though transmitters are ready, receivers are not picking up, mainly because of the cost factor. So our solution is staying apart from rest of the solution because we don't require any radio chips. We have a technology called software-defined radio.
Rajit, I think you're muted. Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, I had unmuted. I got a message saying that host has muted me.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
It's okay. So we don't require specialized radio chips. That is one of the peculiarity of our solution. So that will have enormous amount of savings with respect to the cost of the receiver. For example, in one of the case studies, we found that it will save about $5 to $12 for the chip alone. Then it will reduce the complexity of the hardware plus the kind of testing that we have to do. So all that will add to the benefit of the consumer. Second part is our solution, even though it is done in software, it's a high quality. It is at least of the same quality or even better than the quality of the solutions offered by the hardware companies. So we have, as I mentioned, we have patents granted, which will make sure that our solution is best in the market. We, as I mentioned, 2 seconds for the first audio to play, whereas some of the major semiconductor companies, they take about 5 seconds to play the first audio. And we are fully compliant with the digital radio standards, and we have productized for 3 high-profile customers. And ours is one-stop shop, meaning you will get everything together as a single solution, which can run on any ARM processor. It is not that you have to buy a radio chip, then develop a software like middleware, application, data services, etc. We provide it as one single solution, and the royalty cost will be much lesser than the cost of a chip. So this is the competition analysis. As you see, most of our competitors are high-profile semiconductor companies like Texas Instruments, Analog Devices, NXP, Silicon Labs, and also Bosch on the right side. They are very expensive compared to our solution, and they have external dependencies. Like if you buy their chip, that doesn't mean that you are up with the solution. You have to buy or you have to procure other components, especially software components from the other third-party vendors, and to ensure that the solution is integrated and provided to the customer. So our solution is a single stack solution, which encompasses everything. So we stand to gain in the competition in a long run. They are big names. We are a small company, but definitely we got our first solution in 1 million cars. So likewise, we are hoping to go ahead.
Great.
And we also work in, this is about the IP solution that I was talking about. We also work in certain productization services related to this IP and related IP. For example, we have also worked in CATS, that is V2X standards, vehicle-to-vehicle communication, vehicle-to-infrastructure communication. Digital TV also we have worked in. These are all related technologies, not fully same, but similar technologies. And infotainment is one area where we could contribute towards developing solutions. We are into product creation, user interface, HMIs, human machine interface, system compliance, testing infrastructure we do have, because these are all sensitive test equipments to test. And we do have all the signal generators in our lab, and all the software layers, starting from the abstraction, middleware application, everything we have done. And performance optimization is one of the key towards productization, whether it is timing performance, whether it is radio frequency reception performance. We have done it for high profile customers. And we are also experts in complex system integration. So we are also into services business. That is one of our specializations along with the IP.
Yeah.
And these are some of the customers I have listed: Telechips, Clarion, and XP.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Rajit. I think just acknowledging the great work you're doing and the opportunity you already touched on in terms of Australia. So it's exciting to know about it. In fact, I would definitely reach out to you and our ecosystem partners as well, where how we can support and scale. And also what you've reflected on is the opportunity that India presents in the new world as an electronics and a tech OEM partner capital as well, taking on other markets as well. So definitely that's an exciting time, and Kerala also presents a great ecosystem for providing that global support as well. So thank you, Rajit, on that note. Rajit, Prajit, if you can take us through the rest of the presentations. I just will request if the founders can limit to 4 to 5 minutes their presentation, and I'm sure some of the interested people will be in touch with you in the session outside this meeting. We will have them contacting you on the page directly. Over to you, Prajit.
Thank you, Irfan. So next we have Beagle Security, which is a web application penetration testing tool that helps you to identify vulnerabilities on your website before hackers exploit them. And we have Mr. Ebi from Beagle Securities to explain the product. Ebi, are you there?
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ebi, and I'm part of the marketing team at Beagle Security. So to give you a quick introduction, Beagle Security is a web and API penetration testing tool that will help you to identify security loopholes on your application. Allow me to share my screen. Yeah, I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, very well.
Thank you. So coming down to the team, it is led by Reja and Pratap. Reja comes with experience in the security domain, and Pratap has been in the technology domain for the past 17 years. And coming to the problem we are facing, over the past few years, the applications have been going up in popularity. But the problem here is that they're also becoming one of the favorite targets for hackers. So if you look at the statistics, web apps were involved in about 43% of the breaches in 2020, and they are also one of the top hacking vectors. This is the data from Verizon's data breach investigations report. And moving on, some more data from IBM's cost of data breach report. So on the whole, web applications are being increasingly targeted by hackers to exploit vulnerabilities in them. So one way to go about this is to depend on manual pen testing, but the problem here is that manual pen testing is very costly, and the ranges can be from around $4,000 to $30,000 for test, depending on the size, scope, and methodology of test. So even if you have a manual pen test every quarter, the cost adds up to a very huge amount. And companies usually have very faster release cycles as of now. So there's a question of what happens in between these security audits. So we have to ensure security on a continuous basis. As you know, new exploits are coming out every now and then. And there's a need to address them on an ongoing basis. So this is where a solution like Beagle Security comes in. So Beagle Security is a completely automated solution. It can work with any type of website or framework. So it is platform, technology, and programming language agnostic. And once an automated pen test is completed, you will get actionable insights about the security risk in your application and more details like where the vulnerability is present, and mitigation techniques on how you can go about addressing those issues. At the core of the product, we have an AI-powered module. So the function of AI is for three reasons. Number one is to cut down false positives. So we achieve this through multiple levels of result verification. And number two, we have a user authenticated testing module. So if you have an application with a login module, for example, like a SaaS application or an e-commerce application, what you can do is that you can record that login sequence and submit it to a testing engine so that we can perform an authenticated test, or more like a gray box penetration test. And number three, the AI module is also used for understanding the technology stack of an application and developing custom test cases on the go, so that based on the technology of an application, specific test cases can be done on the particular application. We also have DevSecOps integrations. That is, you can integrate legal security with your CI/CD pipeline. And additionally, we also have a security team that is constantly updating the vulnerability database with the latest exploits. We follow global security standards like OWASP and SANS, and check for about 3,000 plus vulnerabilities. And as I mentioned earlier, based on the technology, custom test cases are built for each application. The platform is easy to set up and easy to use. You do not need any coding knowledge. All you have to do is a domain verification process to make sure that you're an authorized person to carry out the penetration test. And once a test is completed, you have detailed insights about the issues and recommendations on how you can go about fixing those issues. You can also build completely automated workflows. The home dashboard that gives you all the information about the various applications you are monitoring. Then we have application dashboards for each specific application, and PDF reports that come with details of all the vulnerabilities and remediation. And finally, the workflow automation, where you can integrate with your CI/CD pipeline, project management software, and communication apps. When it comes to the competition, there are a couple of automated pen testing tools out there, but what sets us apart is the fact that we have been incorporating AI into the product right from the early stages. That's number one. Number two is our pricing is different, as in the price per test is very cheaper compared to our competitors. And number three, while competitors are doing vulnerability scanning, we are doing more of a human-like automation to do an in-depth penetration test. So vulnerability scanning usually spans about 8 to 10 hours, but on people security, it can take from anywhere between maybe 1 day to 3 days to complete a penetration test, because we are trying to automate the manual process. So 14-day or 12-day process is automated to a 2 or 3-day process. We are also one of the highest rated products on G2, the software platform. We have also been identified for being the fastest implementable and most implementable solution in the last summer reports. Moving on to numbers, we launched a beta in July 2018 and moved on to public in August 2020. We have about 4,000 plus active users as of now, and they have completed about 11,000 plus penetration tests, and the platform has identified about 200,000 vulnerabilities till date, with about 28% of them being critical vulnerabilities. And when it comes to global presence, we have about 1,431 paying customers as of now from 100 plus countries, with about 31% of them being in the United States. This is distribution of our users across the globe, with most of our users coming from US, UK, and India. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhay. I think it's quite exciting, and I can't, stress enough. This is a huge sector of growth and demand in Australia. Not only, the corporate, the business, but also the SME segment, where an AI-based solution there, which also, I'm cognizant here, there is a lot of lack of awareness and access to solutions. And I think you have a very well-positioned product. So as an investor or ecosystem partner myself, I'll be keen to talk to you after this session. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Yes. So next we have a startup called Simber Infotech. So Sajish, are you there? Let me invite the founder, Sajish. Sajish, are you there?
Yes, yes, I'm here.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. You can continue, Sajish.
Okay, so I'll just share my presentation also.
Yes, please.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen. Yes, we can see your presentation as well.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So we would like to position ourselves as a manufacturing and defense tech. Currently, we are working with some of the defense organizations. So anyway, Irfan Malik, thanks a lot. Your presentation was really good.
Thank
and
you.
It was a really insightful presentation. Okay, so now we'll move on to our product and presentation. So about ourselves, we will come to that. Our leadership team, product overview, roadmap, timeline, and marketing landscape, and application demo. We will just skip bootstrap fund. Now we started in 2015 and moved on to the BPO services and IT product and coaching, and finally we moved into a consulting and web mobile application. And registered as a private limited company, and ventured into a product development, being a transformer. And this is our leadership team. And VS Meno is the chairman, myself Sajesh, Ambarish, and these are our directors. Because of the benefit of time, I'm just rush through the things and focus more on the product side. He's our mentor, the Captain Sanoj Suleiman. He's from Pina Trivandrum, and now he's with Northern side. He is our mentor and coming out with defense tech solutions. Now, who are our customers? Our customers are mainly on the product inspection units, then QA and QCs, small and medium manufacturing units, and small and medium product assembling units. Basically, we are into manufacturing and defense tech. So quite naturally, one of our customers is Indian Navy. So we are doing a project for them as an NCNC model. Now, what is the problem we are trying to address? One is asset tracking is a major challenge, lack of process knowledge within the team itself. So because of that, there is a lot of time getting eating up because of lack of process knowledge. Paper-based QA inspection process is a traditional one, and a lot of physical registers used for tracking the data. No lead indicators to take timely decision, no preventive maintenance, tons and tons of documents and reports, but not used for any decision making or process fine-tuning. Availability of reference documents is always a challenge, and lack of a digital library. So these are some of the things which we identified based on our analysis and research with different organizations, government as well as the private sector, MSMEs. So these are the problems we are trying to address through our application suite. And who are our customers now? So our major customer now is a Naval Armament Inspectorate, and piloted in Trivandrum, Kochi, and Alvey, and now is the pan-India implementation is going on as a pilot. And the next one would be the NIA vendors, and then MSMEs, small and medium manufacturing enterprises, and the defense organization. Our ultimate aim is to move into the defense organization. Now, so these are the product functionalities, basically, mainly on the product and sub-assembly master. There is a area where manufacturing sector is facing the challenge, especially the small and medium companies. Big companies, definitely, they have their own big products, very costly products, but small companies, they may not be able to afford that type of a costly application and support. So product reference document, product specification, inspection parameters, process flow, dynamic register. We are trying to get rid of all these big, long register books and coming out with a dynamic register concept. And of course, it is a analytics part. So this is our top assembly and sub-assembly, and from a main component goes drill down to a minute component and see what is the key performance indicators of that particular product and life of that particular product or subcomponent. So that determines the life of the major component. So we can see that here it is give a tree structure, and it gives for each and every product, it gives specifications for that particular product also. We'll come back to that with the product. So we have a master database management for products and subcomponents and sub-assemblies, and all the associated process and reference documents. And this is another area where manufacturing sector is facing challenge. People are not aware of the complete process or how the process is happening, and who is operator, what type of machines they are using it, what drawings they need to use it, what are the specifications, is very, very challenging to find out that information on a click of a button. So that is what we are trying to address. And from a product overview perspective, these are the major functionalities what we have. There is asset management and tracking, product tree, document mail management system, and dynamic digital register, predictive analytics and maintenance, knowledge management system, and reliability analysis. Now we'll come back to that application very quickly and see where we stand on that. Hope we can see our application screen now.
Yes.
So yeah, this is an application which we developed for enable Aman Inspectorate as a pilot, because we got an opportunity to work with this particular team, and we used a incremental prototype methodology, so that every day new things are coming up, new functionalities are adding into the system now. So this is knowledge center what we're talking about. So there is all this, because these are some data is available, so I'm not going into the detail because it's a confidential thing. So structures, nominal roles, all these details related to the organization can be put into one common place where people can access it and use it in a click of a button. All the orders, policy letters, and everything. So this is the place where some of these government organizations, as well as the defense and the MSM, is facing challenges, and getting the documents and policies on time. So we are providing a knowledge center, and we'll just log into the system and see how it works. So once this application is ready, now we'll come back to that presentation also. We'll go through the presentation, and slowly we'll compare with the application also. So the knowledge management system is what I shown to you in the application, and the asset management tracking. It is starting from the store management itself. That is, we have different stores and different details related to that one, and the product details. And for each and every store available in this NIA area, it will be stored here, and the product can be displayed on this one. So they can do all this. Basically, it is a CRUD operation of all the stores and its component. Now, from the supplier perspective, who supplies which product, and when is the supplier details, and their statistics and everything will be handled. And the department, HR, and the different designation, competency, user management, inspection tools, and knowledge center. So these are some of these major functionalities which we are trying to address with this one. And we have the technical thing is where the complete product details are available. So this is the product what we're talking about. So we have a product tree where the complete details are available, and now we have taken a mine as a sample one, but in present we have seen a lot of products and its subcomponents, but because of this confidentiality, I'm not going detail into that one. So for example, like if the mine, we have a homing unit, and when you go to the homing unit, we'll get the complete details about the particular product itself. So this is the way this application works, and for each and every minute component, it is associated documents, KPIs, all these things will be displayed here. How the KPI is not defined, so we'll go back to that mines, and we have a mines, and we have what are the KPIs associated with this particular mine. So these are the key performance indicators for each and every component to the minute level. We'll be creating performance indicators for that gives the performance of the system, and when this application is going to, or product is going to fail. So that also the system will provide that information. Okay, so these are the products, or these are the things what we are focusing more on from a product perspective. And for example, from inspection tool management, what are the tools available in that organization? When the tool has to go for a calibration, and how many tools are available? All this information related to that will be displayed in the dashboard format, so that if there is a problem with the tool that leads to some issues, that can also be identified. So again, for all these applications, we have the CRED also. So that's the way the application is designed. And this is the process flow which I was talking about. And this is a timeline where we are working with now. So that phase 1 is over, beta versions completed, implemented various NAA units across India. And now we are associating with the IIT and the Indian Navy to come out with the predictive models. And we are already associated with a Malaysian AI company to come out with the data analytics tools and the AI components to this one. And automatic triggering of corrective mechanism, that is the area which is not started yet. There is a lot of research is required on that particular area. So that research is going on with different manufacturing sectors. So that's all from my side. Is a because of benefit of time, I'm just rushed through this application and what are the functionalities. And if you need to know more about this particular application, please reach out to us. This is our email ID, and this is our phone number. We are available all the time to support.
Thank you, Sajesh. I'm sure some of the just got some messages. Definitely, some of the ecosystem partners will be in touch with you post this session on the individual meeting rooms or the session rooms there.
Absolutely. Okay.
Thank you, Prachit.
Thank
over to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sajesh, for that presentation. Next, we have Eve Labs. Eve Labs has a product called Drippo, which is a portable connected infusion monitor that helps a health practitioner to set intravenous infusion rates accurately and monitor it from everywhere. Let me invite Mr. Vishnu, who's the founder of Eve Labs. Vishnu, are you there?
Yes. Hi, Prajit. Good afternoon.
Hi, Vishnu.
Hi, everyone. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon and good morning. I'm Vishnu. I'm CEO and co-founder of Eve Labs. We work on connected solutions to improve safety and efficiency in hospitals. So I'll just start with the presentation and take you through the product and the details. So most of you might have been to a hospital and have been on an IV drip as a part of your procedure somehow. So in most of these places, the IV therapy needs to be constantly monitored. So that's the first problem that we are trying to solve with our devices. Our primary vision is to work on IoT solutions to improve clinical efficiency and safety in hospital wards, as well as home care through connected solutions. So right now, we are an ISO 13482 certified company for manufacturing, production, and distribution of wireless monitors. So just to give you a brief idea of the problem, so it's from a three different perspective. I mean, like there's a patient in the hospital, there's a nurse who is actually the practitioner, and the hospital who is running the practice, I mean the service. So if you think from different perspective, say if you've been to an IV therapy in a hospital, usually nurses have to monitor these infusions over time. They will have to monitor the drop rates over time and correct it and keep the correct flow rate. They'll also have to check whether there is any issue or vein out related to IV therapy so that they can correct it at the right point of time. So this naturally increases the time that's required for nurses to monitor these activities, and this reduces the time that they can spend on other tasks, and which reduces the quality nursing time that's available with the nurses due to more time spent of monitoring these practices. Suppose if they have set up an IV, they'll have to walk back again and again to different rooms and monitor infusions in different rooms over time. And this also leads to bad patient experience and reduction in revenue for the hospital. In fact, I started this concept, I started researching on this concept when I had a bad experience with one of my friends in a hospital in Ahmedabad. That's where I started researching on this, activities which are there in the wards, and came up with the product Drippo. And these two problems actually leads to increased risk cost for hospitals, and mainly due to increased average length of stay and this can lead to medication errors, which can be fatal to the patients as well if it's not constantly monitored and done correctly. A study by NICE in the UK says that 1 out of 5 infusions are erratic in some way, which might lead to a potential harm to the patient in the out of the overall infusions that are done in the scenarios, hospital scenarios. So this is our first product. It's a Made in India handy wireless gravity IV drip monitor for hospitals. So nurses can use this device, clamp this device to the drip chamber on the IV bag, and it starts monitoring the IV fluids drop by drop, and it counts and displays the flow rate to the nurses. And once they have set up the flow rate, they'll be able to monitor these IV fluids remotely from the nursing station. And it helps them to set the fluid rates precisely. And they'll also get alerts on rate changes, completion, and blocks of these IV fluid lines remotely from the nursing station itself. So this is the advanced version of the same product. This is called Dripper Plus. This comes with an automatic controller along with the IV fluid monitoring. So we came up with product with this version when we started getting a lot of leads related to remote control of IV fluids during the last pandemic time, during the first wave of time. So that's when we started thinking of adding a controller which is portable enough to be used in a home healthcare kind of segment, because we see a great opportunity in home healthcare segment in the post-COVID time due to, most of the healthcare becoming to a home healthcare kind of scenario. So that's where we're planning to place this product, where we have this device which can put in pocket and take it to any place and give infusions in home or anywhere as you wish. And the device also sends the data back to the cloud server where you will get to monitor it remotely. So this is the software that we provide to hospital, which is a cloud application which alerts on errors of infusions to the nurses. So it has a live monitoring screen as well as history module. So in the live monitoring module, nurses will be able to see the status of all the infusions and details in a live manner. And for the history screen, they'll be able to see the audit reports for regulatory complaints. So basically, when you're using Drippo, you don't need to go for a paper-based system to manage your intake output charts in hospital. All those becomes automated. The device logs the data and timelines of the infusions given along with the fluid flow rates, and then creates the audit reports for regulatory compliance for hospitals as well. And competition-wise, our major competitors include one company called Shift Labs based out in the US, Monitor in Finland, and Metitan in India. One of the major difference is that our connectivity system is based on LoRa, which is a long-range network, which is standalone and which require less infrastructure in terms of Wi-Fi-based systems. And we've also patented calibration mechanism, which makes it more accurate to any IV set available in the market. And we have been granted patent in India, and we have filed for the patent in US and Europe. And a Drippo controller is the only automatic controller for fluid control which is available in the market with a portable version which is available in the market. And talking about the opportunity specifically from an Australian perspective, we have these 3 different segments which we can address. One is connected hospitals, where we can automate their documentation process and IV fluid management and help them to have a complete fluid management system in place. And there are vitamin IV launches which are upcoming in the market with different startups in Australia, like Drip IV launch and all, where they do vitamin IV infusions for customers. So this can be a potential partnerships for us to go forward to the market in Australia. And home infusion therapy also has been increasingly prevalent after the COVID pandemic, like chemotherapy and all has been moving constantly to home. So that's also another, home infusion therapy is another huge market that we'll be able to address due to the portable and remote connectivity aspect of the product in place. And our business model, we charge $3 per infusion per use of the device. We sell through medical device distributors and APIs integrations with hospital information system companies on 20 to 30% commission. Stage-wise, we have set up the production line, which is ISO 13485 compliant now. We have sold 100 units in the field with 8 lakhs in revenue. Major customers include Apollo Indoor Medical Trust Hospital and Amrita Institute of Medical Sciences. We have received 500K in seed round through Biotechnology Ignition Grant and COVID Research Consortium call from India. And we have set up the production line now and is scaling the sales to move forward. And our go-to-market strategy, primarily for other countries, will be moving for a CE approval and technical file preparation by September 2021. And we'll be looking for partners outside India through private labeling or distributorship by October 2021. And by December 2021, we'll be looking for Australian TGA approval so that we can move to the Australian market as well. So these are some of the recognitions that we have got till date. Some of the major recognitions include we were awarded the best startup in IT automation by NASCOM HIC Healthcare Innovation Awards. Internationally, we have been the top 3 in Alpha Gear Hardware Cup in USA in 2020. And we have also been selected among 30 other startups in the world to be a speaker at Arab Health in the recent 2021 Arab Health. So thank you for listening to our pitch. So I'll be open to any collaboration opportunities that we'll have to take our product to other markets as well.
Thank you, Vishnu. Very, very impressive. Definitely keen. I'm quite engrossed in this healthcare sector quite a bit. In fact, we can see the opportunity. I've got one of my colleagues, advisor James Stewart, who's also just joined in time, who's a healthcare expert as well, or definitely connected in that sector. So yeah, really looking forward to how we can help you with the TGA process, but also opportunities not only in the healthcare, but also retirement living aged care sector. The whole geriatric care sector is and disability care and all, where some of these can be leveraged here. So look forward to that. Thank you, Vishnu. We'll be in touch with you. Thank you. Over to you, Prajeet.
Thank you, Vishnu, for that presentation. Next, we have Metra Innovations, who will be presenting their product Venix, which is the world's most affordable vein tracking device using augmented reality. So let me invite Mr. Rajesh, who is the founder of Metra Innovation. Rajesh, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you so much, Prajesh and Kerala Startup Mission. I hope you can see the screen now.
We can see you sharing the screen. And
yeah, so let me start off with my small video, 1 minute video.
All medical examinations begin with an intravenous procedure, but finding a vein.
We can't see the video.
We can't see the video.
You have to share that video and share the sound as well.
Okay. Screen sharing is live, right? You can see the screen, right?
We can't.
You can't. Once again, I will.
Yeah, when you share, tick the left corner button. It says share the system sound as well.
Okay.
Yeah, please play.
Yep.
Based on augmented reality.
Can you hear me?
VenuX uses
we can.
technology that superimposes a computer-generated image onto a patient body, providing the healthcare practitioner a more composite view. With VenuX, a practitioner can accurately assess in real time the condition of the peripheral veins before, during, and after the intravenous procedure. VenuX is portable and allows for hands-free imaging for vascular access. With multiple modes and different levels of intensity, VenuX is adaptable to varying conditions. VenuX's easy vein access and accuracy enables patients to avoid multiple attempts and pain during an intravenous procedure. VenuX is radiation-free and has a rechargeable battery pack as an accessory. It also comes with a stand for non-contact tracking. With such unique features and numerous application possibilities in surgical and cosmetic procedures and imaging centers, VenuX makes vein tracking technology a reality to the masses.
Yeah, I hope the video was clear.
It was, yeah. Thank you. You can go to the presentation, please.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So let me start off with the video. Myself, Rajesh Kumar, I am the Managing Director to Metra Innovative Technologies. And Metra is basically a bootstrapped health tech startup. And we have actually incubated at Kerala Startup Mission. And we are
Rajesh,
actually...
sorry to pause you there. We can just still see your video player. So if you can stop sharing and then share the presentation, that'd be great.
Okay. Now it's clear, right?
Yes, yes, yeah, you can go into the presentation mode, slideshow mode. Yeah, okay, it's clear now.
Yeah. So we are focused on developing affordable medical equipments in India and for the world. And the company is focused on products in augmented reality and virtual reality, which helps in treatment of cost reduction and healthcare accessibility to one and all. And we develop products which help improve patient satisfaction as well as the processes and systems utilized in the healthcare fraternity. Now, let me explain the problem statement. Administering life-saving medication and vital fluids through intravenous access is a routine practice in any hospitals, irrespective of the departments during a crisis or an emergency. Any patient admitted in a critical condition to any hospital will surely need a vein access. Getting the vein for obese, oncology, neonatal, elderly, trauma patients are very difficult. And during an emergency, if the drug administration is not started within a critical time, it will lead to severe ill effects on the patient. Lack of treatment on time may cause partial or full paralysis to the patient, or at times even leading to loss of life. And every second counts. Now, the delay in prompt vein access become very serious when one could not find vein on time. Moreover, it creates anxiety among both patients and the medical practitioners, since the delay and failed attempts often create stress and discomfort among patients. 40 million vein punctures are happening every day worldwide, and 1 out of 5 miss on the first attempt, and 1 out of 3 miss on the first attempt with newborns. So this is the problem we have selected for a solution, and we have developed a product called VeinWorks Air 100. We have actually invested 3 years of time. We have made multiple prototypes and developed this product. So we have filed a patent also. The technology goes like this. Hemoglobin in the blood absorbs infrared light when the device is held about 25 to 35 centimeters above the skin. Vein appear noticeably different than the surrounding tissues, and the vasculature shows up clearly on the skin surface, aiding in vein location to collect a blood sample or administer an IV medication. So this will help medical practitioners to help 20% reduction in PACC line usage, 100% first success rate, and 10 mm match depth vein identification. The market is very large across world, and India itself has got a potential of 400,000 units in the years to come. And the global market, if you look at $55 billion is the global IV access market industry size. And by 2025, vein finder itself will have a market of 630 million USD. And again, 70% of the market is still untapped, because these people are actually from the rural area. So this is the opportunity, and the global IV access market is valued at 55 billion USD, and is also growing at a CAGR of 27%. So our business plan is actually to touch 100,000 units in the next 5-year time. So we have already sold 100 units across India and in another 4 countries. These are our prestigious clientele. We have customers, top clients from India as well as from the other countries. So that's about Metra Innovations. I know that everybody is actually waiting for the morning time. So I am just.
Thank you, Rajesh. Appreciate that. This looks very impressive. I'm sure we'll have some interest from Australia, and look forward to working with you for the Australian market.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Prajit, over to you.
Yes, Irfan. So the 5 startups for this lot are over.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you, Prajit. If you may want to quickly share the screen about how the rest of the participant and ecosystem partners can get to connect with these startups on the platform, where to go, and if you could quickly show them, you can share the screen, and also you can talk about the rest of the big demo day as well.
Right. So let me share my screen first. So this is the page platform where we have listed our startups. So you will be landing in a home page like this, wherein this Global Market Access and Innovation Bridge Program startups have been listed. So you can, when you scroll down, you can see the agenda for today's program, which is almost over, and the startup who have presented their products today. You can see them in this tab, in the startups tab. So basically, there are two links. So one is Visit Startup Showcase and Startup. So Visit Startup Showcase, when you click to that, you will be parallelly landing to the page of Big Demo Day 6.0, which is a parallel demo day event happening today. And we have shortlisted like 10 enterprise tech startups for that. So that is a parallel page of startups where you can land and see those startups. And if you want to interact with the startups who have presented their products today, you just need to come here and click this tab of startups. And when you click here, just let me. And when you click here, you can see the startups listed. So these are the 10 web tiles. Each web tile is a virtual store. So you see Eve Labs here, Metra here, Troncard, Farmers Friend Show, and everyone. So when you just click, just put your cursor on each web tile, you can see the basic details of that particular startup. Suppose if you want to know this startup, if you want to see the details of this startup, all you need to do is just click the Visit Stall option. And when you do this visit, when you just fill this Visit Stall option, you will be directly going into the virtual stall of that particular startup. There you can see the products listed. So as Vishnu mentioned in his presentation about his product Drippo, so I just clicked that product video, and when you click into that option, you can see the product details of Drippo. So you can see what Drippo is. You can see the product video being played here. You can see the description in detail. And along with that, you also have the provision of watching having the website, the LinkedIn details. You can also download the business cards. If you want to connect with that startup, so be shared with that particular founder. Suppose if you want to interact with Vishnu, all you need to do is you need to just click here, connect with startup, and if you just press OK here, Vishnu will be notified that you are expressing the interest to talk to him, and he will get back to you. So each founder, suppose if you want to interact with each founder will get notified, and they will get back to you from there. So yeah, so this is the a virtual walkthrough of the platform, and I guess it is helpful for the audience to understand it. Over to you, Irfan. Yes. So yeah,
thank you, Prajeet. Appreciate you taking through. So obviously you can connect with all the startup founders and take your time. You can visit there. I presume they're going to be available for the next 2 to 3 hours so to interact. So please take your time, do connect and see how you can, as an ecosystem partner, investor, advisor, or scale-up associate, you can connect with them and see how you can support. So that's a call out to all the attendees who have come on board, and do share this link as well to your network, because supporting the ecosystem is paramount and critical for the success here. So thank you again. And I want to quickly acknowledge all our partners who have helped us put together this event and all our outreach partners as well. So definitely thank Kerala Startup Mission, World Malayali Council, Far East region, and Australia, along with our InQ team who have also worked closely across board in Kerala and here. Want to recognize the ecosystem outreach partner, Australia India Business Council, Indo-Australia Chamber of Commerce, Wholesale Investors, Tank Stream Labs, Alpha Business, MDEC, Mustafa Al-Mana Global, Asia Gateway, Growth Byte, Pravasi, the publication, the Scale Institute, Women Aware, Tech Ready, GWAS based in Telangana, Sydney Angels, and Metro Malayalam. I recognize all their support, and all the numerous other people who have missed out. I'm just really appreciative of all your support, and thank you for taking time. Apologize, obviously we had to go over time, but I'm sure it was fruitful for you all to be there on the session and hear some of these impressive startups present and showcase their offering. And I'm looking forward to really helping these startups to scale, but also another huge set of other startups in the pipeline as well. Thank you again, and great to have this global market access programs journey continue. We started off this last year. We've launched about 4 companies now, in spite of the COVID challenges. But I look forward to really supporting this ecosystem connect, and also our partners in Malaysia and Far East also to come together and support this ecosystem scaling aspirations that we have. Thank you again. On that note, namaskar, and thank you to all of you. And please do stay back and connect and interact with the startups in those stalls that Prajit had showcased as well. Thank you again. Namaskar. Thank you.
Thank you, Irfan. Appreciate it. Thank you very much for inviting.
Thank you all. Thanks. Over to you, Prajit. Thank you. And yeah, we'll wrap this session, and we'll all see you on that platform, on that link. Please do jump onto that link as well. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Irfan. Thank you.
Thank you.